Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the gaming scene. I'm Kara. With me is...
Puppery, hello.
Hello. She'll be commentating with me today. Last time we did this run, we had to commentate in German. So I'm not German, by the way, so that was very interesting. But this time we get to commentate in English, so that's quite good. I will be running Elden Ring Nightreign for you guys. Any percent glitchless solo. So just before we start, I want to outline what we're going to be exactly doing, because if you've played Nightreign, you might have questions like how do you even speedrun Nightreign. If you haven't played Nightreign, well, we'll, try to kind of elaborate on everything as much as we can. Essentially, the way this game is structured is it's kind of a roguelike, kind of split up into missions, sort of Monster Hunter style, and what we'll be doing is we'll be starting from a fresh save file, and we have to reach credits. Credits are reached once we defeat the final Night Lord, which is Helster in this case. In order to defeat him, we need to defeat the first expedition, so the first mission, then 3 additional ones, and then Helster himself. So that means we'll be doing 5 expeditions, finished by the credits. Did I forget anything?
I don't think so.
That's good. Okay, well, you can think for the next 2 hours and 15 minutes that we'll be running. Tech, as soon as I click yes, we will have the timer running, so we can start in 3, 2, 1, go.
I guess maybe one thing to mention is that there's different character classes, and there's basically 2 routes that you can do. One would be selecting Raider and one Iron Eye. Which one are we doing?
Well, we're going to be starting as Iron Eye. I think that's another important kind of thing to outline is how this game works in terms of these characters. So do you want to explain that a little bit, maybe?
Yeah, so each character is some sort of archetype. So you have an archer, you have a guy with a sword.
Uh-oh.
Already.
You're already too slow. I mean, the first, quit out of the tutorial was pretty slow, but yeah. All right, can we get the map pattern?
Yes, of course. Okay.
I'll pick up on what you were saying. So there are, multiple characters kind of following classic archetypes that you would expect in a game like this. You've got a dude with a big axe, dude with swords. You've got, an archer, which is what we are playing.
Yep. And we have the map pattern of a demi-human duo, first night. And it's gonna be Meteor Strike as an event, Troll Castle with Magma Worm and Grafted Scion, and day 2 is Tree Sentinel Royal Cover.
Okay, so we'll explain exactly what we are doing with the tablet here, and also what we mean when we talk about patterns and stuff. There's plenty of time to actually explain things. But yeah, so I'm playing as Iron Eye. He's the fastest, alongside Raider, as Pup outlined. That is because both those classes have sustained DPS in the sense that Raider is a big tank with a big axe. He gets to ignore enemies' attacks. Meanwhile, the guy that I'm playing as gets to just stay in range. If an enemy runs away, it's not really a big deal because you can keep on shooting. To be fair, these enemies with shields can be kind of tricky sometimes. But the main thing about this game is that we need to be really quick on the bosses. What I do here obviously matters a lot still. But essentially, the way the game works is that you have 2 cycles, day and night. And that happens twice each expedition. And each day, where you are basically free to collect things, has a certain timer. There's going to be this big circle closing in. Like, if you played any Battle Royale games in the past decade, that will be familiar to you, right? So From Software thought that's a great idea to implement into Elden Ring as well. The day cycle is then followed by a night, and the night introduces a boss battle. It's basically a minor boss that you're going to be fighting. And once you defeat it, if you defeat it, you will proceed to the next day and then kind of rinse and repeat. You defeat the second night boss, and once you do, you will be able to battle the Night Lord. And if you win there, you complete the expedition. So what are we doing right now, Pup? I am gonna go into this tunnel. Where's the tunnel entrance? I went a little too far. Yeah.
But yeah, the best way to start out the day 1 in the speedrun at least, it might be a little bit different casually, but for the speedrun at least, you do want to upgrade your weapon as fast as possible, because we will go to one of the biggest hubs with most of the enemies and most of the chests that you can loot right away. And to have enough damage for that place, it's really good to already have a +2 weapon, which the upgrading system only works in for +1 and +2. So in Elden Ring, you could upgrade a somber weapon to +10 and a smithing weapon to +25, but we don't have that system here because it would just take way too long. And so we can get these smithing 2 stones to fully upgrade our bow. And for that, we have to go through a tunnel and defeat this like mini legendary enemy.
Yeah, can I get the tablet a little bit closer?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
There you go.
So do you want to also explain what other things I can do besides the classic attacks? We'll also get to the classic attacks, but besides being a bow guy, what can I do?
Yeah, so every character comes with an ability and with an ultimate. So the ability for Iron Eye is a mark, which you can apply to an enemy, and that enemy will take more damage from any attack afterwards. But then also, as long as the mark is applied to the enemy, you can build it up, and the more damage you do, at some point, you basically explode the mark and deal a ton of extra damage.
Percentage-based damage.
Yeah.
So it's very, very good for targets with high health, especially.
Yeah, exactly. And then he has his ultimate ability,
I bought the pouch. My bad.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, his ultimate ability?
Yeah, so that is a huge arrow that he shoots out. So he takes like one of bigger arrow from his back, and he can do a big AoE with it, and it builds up very big poise damage and just shoots a lot of enemies in a line.
Yeah. So poise damage, that basically means that we can stagger the target and get a riposte. We saw that on the Mad Pumpkin that I killed for the upgrade stone. I was able to stagger him and then basically get a big riposte after that. It also proc the mark, so even though I was there with a starting bow, fighting an enemy that's a little tankier, I was able to deal a lot of damage.
Yeah, and there exactly you can again see that mark applied, and right away also proccing.
Okay, skip.
Oh, nice skip. Oh,
Oh,
maybe
not a nice skip.
This is a really, really precise skip. It looks way easier than it is.
Does it? I don't know.
I don't know, maybe. Okay, you're just showing off how hard it actually is to pull off.
I have a bit of input delay here that I normally don't have, but there we go. Oh my god, he already greeted me. So, thank you. Yeah, we'll be seeing this skip a few times. Here's the ultimate that Pup was mentioning. I basically shot a massive arrow just to stagger the dude. And this is quite nice. So we are in a castle, to interrupt the train of thought there. And the reason for that, normally this is something you would usually do on like day 2. Okay, my mark ran out. You would do this on day 2 because there's a lot of enemies that are quite tanky. However, because they're tanky, they also drop a lot of rewards. They drop loot, which we will also get into, like what that means and what we are looking for specifically. And they also drop a lot of runes, which is basically a currency for us to level up with. And we are now at the rooftop, which is kind of like the main boss of the castle. And I'm doing this at level 3, so like you can see my damage isn't crazy, but the reward is going to be very, very good in terms of how many runes I'm going to get. And the more runes I have, the more I can level up. And then I can get stronger for the rest of this castle, basically. It depends on what boss is here. Like, sometimes I'm not specifically going to go for castle boss this early, but Magma Worm is actually really, really good. It's a great example of what Iron Eye can do. So we have 2 types of attacks. I have this R1 button, and then I have this R2 button, which you can see is kind of like a shotgun where I shoot 3 arrows at once, but I need to be close to the target for them all to hit. However, with Magma Worm, that's actually really easy to do, and he takes extra damage to the head. So I try to stand in front of him as much as possible and just triple headshot with my R2 button, essentially. So the boss is going to be almost going down. I need to make sure that I dodge out of this. Alright, cool. So boss is down. Thank you. We'll be seeing that a lot, guys. Okay, the reward is in the lava. Archery Greybow is kind of not great. Okay, so the drops were pretty trash. But, as you can see now in the top left corner, I'm level 7, which is very good. So we went directly from level 3 to level 7. And in the top right corner, I still have 22,000 runes left. Now I'll be heading over to this troll. You can headshot this guy, so you can watch my insane controller aim. I'm trying to do as many headshots as possible. And then obviously always remarking as well to deal that extra percentage damage.
Yeah, I guess one thing to note as well for the people who don't know this game, the maximum level is 15.
Yep.
So we're already almost halfway there. Or pretty much halfway there. since you can already level up again. There's a
Yep.
little indicator on the top left where the level is with an arrow up. And that means we can level up.
Okay, ulti again. Here you can see how I can target multiple enemies at the same time, knock them back. Okay, didn't get the headshot there. Troll was a little too fast. I gotta be a bit careful because in this castle, these trolls keep on throwing the bombas. And the bombas are not good because they deal a lot of AoE damage. And so when I'm fighting this guy, I can just get hit from behind as well, which is not great. He also kind of fell in a really awkward way, so I cannot really hit the head from here. So I just gotta try to keep on dealing DPS. So now is, I think, a good time to explain how we're gonna try to get as much power as possible besides leveling up. Like, that one's the most obvious one. You saw me level up already at a Grace. That's kind of the checkpoint. It works a little bit differently than a typical RPG because... Ow, that was a bomba. I'm just looting, man. That's not cool. It works a little bit different than in a typical RPG because we don't get to really choose our stat points. The game does that for us based on which class we have. So I don't really get to choose if I get more health or not. Depending on if I'm, you know, Iron Eye or if I'm Raider, I will get more or less health. I guess, yeah, more or less or more respectively. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, Raider does get pretty beefy.
Yep.
He is a tank, so he gets a lot of strength and health. Also stamina, because he wields very heavy weapons. While Iron Eye does also get a good amount of stamina, and he gets a lot of dexterity. Also Arcane, I think.
Yeah, Arcane as well.
So status effects are also really good on Iron Eye.
Okay, so we're just clearing out the castle. So we are talking about leveling up. The second thing that's huge is it's not just about the weapon that I'm using to actually attack the bosses with, but there can be weapons with certain buffs on them that I can apply. Like, think of it as a spell. Or there can also be certain items that I can use. Like, for example, this Blood Bowl Aromatic that you can see in the bottom left. I bought it from the merchants. We mentioned the merchants as well, but that is really nice RNG. And then, most importantly, all the items in my inventory, when it comes to weapons, their passive effects all count, despite me not having them equipped actively, right? So I'm trying to get as many bonuses, such as ranged weapon attack bonus, or reducing the fall-off of my arrow damage, right? The further I am, the normally less damage I deal, but if I have good items, I will deal pretty much the same damage as if I was up close. Stuff like that. Or another one that is very important is also attack power at full HP. There's a lot of different passives, a lot of different cool ones. Unfortunately for Iron Eye specifically, a lot of them don't really apply because they're tailored to melee classes. So there's one that we saw just moments ago, which for example is extra damage when you're two-handing your weapon. I'm two-handing my bow the entire time, but I wouldn't actually benefit from it because it's only for a melee class. So the idea is try to get as many runes as possible to hit the max level before we reach the final boss of the expedition. Get as many items that will be beneficial to me when it comes to damage, and get as many buffs as possible. We're gonna talk a lot about buffs as well, because there are different types and not all of them stack, so I need to look for specific types of buffs, for example, and try to combine them, basically. So I'm gonna be killing these enemies in the courtyard. As you can see, it's kind of hard to tell because I didn't show the map, but the circle's now closing in. Attack power at full HP, that's good. Exalted Flesh, that is also good. So those are the consumables that I can, or consumable that I can use for the fight. And the fight is southwest, okay?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be Demi-Human Queen and Onzi.
Yeah, maybe I can explain real quick now how you know that. Right, because
I'm cheating, that's why.
We are cheating a tiny bit. I mean, it's allowed in the speedrun, of course, because the map patterns are kind of limited. So you would think this is completely random what you can encounter, but there's actually just a set amount of seeds that you can get per boss.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on the night boss that you are fighting, which right now we're fighting Tricopilos, there's only a certain amount of...
Well, technically we're fighting Gladius. Tricopilos is the name of the expedition because for some reason the developers thought it was a good idea to give every boss like 5 names so then no one knows what to actually call them.
Yeah, I always just call them dogs because, you know...
Well, you'll see, I guess.
You'll see why.
Black Knife Assassin, please, hello. Yeah, okay, so...
But yeah, so there's a lot of websites or that we can use to see the specific seed that we're going to be playing. So I was able to select the Night Lord, and then where we're flying into the map. And then you have to just select, like, look at the map, select one of the forts or something that you see on the map. And then once you select that, the website knows which seed you're going to be playing. And that helps a lot because depending on which bosses you'll encounter, you want to collect different things because every boss has weaknesses. And by knowing which boss you will be fighting, of course you can prepare for that.
I have to mess with the settings a little bit in the next expedition or in the next day.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not a big deal. Okay, so this is another important part. So basically, like I said, this circle is on a timer. There's nothing I can do to speed it up. However, this boss, the night one boss that I mentioned, you can see it's nighttime now, will spawn whenever the circle closes in to the white part. And it will only spawn once this like pre-boss fight is already finished. So the idea is to try and make it here as soon as possible, make sure that the area is cleared out, and then wait for the boss to spawn. If you come in too late, the boss is also gonna spawn later. You're gonna be losing time, and also your sanity, probably, because that's a reset. Alright, I apply some of the buffs that we have picked up. As I said, we will talk about those a little bit more. Mark missed. This is a double boss. Unfortunate with the Mark. I need to try and get rid of this small guy first. He just parried my attack. Okay, that was actually good. We get a Mark over here, and now I have to only deal with the Demi-Human Queen.
And her little minions, but usually they do sort of leave you alone if you're fast enough.
There we go. Okay, so that's the first night boss out of the multiple that we will be seeing throughout the run. Thank you. Okay, that's good. So after every night boss, you also get a reward. That's another thing that we haven't talked about yet. Essentially, killing bosses drops these trinkets. And out of the trinket, you can either get items or you can get some passives for your character for this specific expedition as well. Like, none of it really carries over, right? And when it comes to the night bosses, you only get those passives. And they're, like, kind of specific. A lot of the time for Iron Eye, there's not really something that is useful because you will get things like you get some bonus after you block. And, like, I'll never block as an archer, right? But this time I got kind of lucky because anytime I riposte, I'll be dealing 15% extra damage to the enemy that I just riposted. So that can be potentially useful. Even though now that I think about it, like in this expedition specifically, not really, but in other ones it might be. So now the plan is to return back to the castle because there's another boss there that I haven't killed yet, which will be Grafted Scion, and there's a little bit more loot that I left. That's another thing, like, the castle is just a very loot-dense area. It's a great way to get our passives up. And as I'm doing that, please, Murtag, you can take it away.
Yes, thank you, Keda. We've got a few donations here. We have a $10.73 donation from Kisenchu saying, "Hello, ESA. Simply love this event. It was remarkable. And to this charismatic and cool combo of runner commentator, I ask, DS2 AA when?"
Thank you for the donation. So that's a running meme of Dark Souls 2 all achievements. One day, yeah, one day.
And I have another quick donation from Ostrava, who donates $125.
Whoa.
Saying, time to fulfill my debt from the Sly 2 run. I think that was late last night. We got 570 coins and broke 5 bottles for a total of $107, but I think $125 will cover my lateness. And they put that towards the Mario Party character selection poll. I'm pushing Rosalina into second place, so we currently we will be seeing Rosalina in the lineup because first place will be our player character, second, third, and fourth will be the CPUs. So if you want to see some different characters, get your money in to influence that poll.
Thank you very much, guys. As you know, we are on the last day of ESA, so make sure to get your donations in. Otherwise, it might be too late, and you'll have to wait until next time. All right, so now we are here in the cellar. This is a bloodstain. This is kind of interesting. So if you're familiar with Souls games, there are these bloodstains that you can find normally. Usually that basically shows you a death of another player. You can see how they died, and it's like a kind of a cool small interaction between different players, even though if you're playing single player. It works a little bit differently in Nightreign. Essentially what bloodstain is, as I take a beating from this guy suddenly, it's a player that died here as well, but the interactive element this time is that you can actually loot their corpse and see the equipment that they had. and also get it, right? That is, however, not allowed in a speedrun setting. Even though we're playing offline, the way it works is that the game, as soon as you go online, even once, it will cache some bloodstains already, and that way you would introduce basically an online RNG element, or you might even introduce some kind of you know, cheated items into the speedrun and stuff like that. So when it comes to any percent, we are not looting those at all. We got the boss. I got a passive that gives me some defense. That is not the best, really, because the idea is to just try and blast as fast as possible on the bosses. This is a chest that always has a talisman. I don't have really anything specific there that I would like to see. Extra runes sounds pretty good, but the problem is that most of the time, not always, but most of the time we'll be reaching the max level before the Night Lord. And so extra runes, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Sometimes it can be a little bit of an exception because there's another merchant as well. One of the potential points of interest on the map is a different merchant, and that has more loot and more gear to buy, and it can be quite expensive, up to like 50k runes, which can be like basically a full level. Like from 12 to 13, I think it's like 60 something. So yeah, it's a decent amount of money that we have to pay up there. Alright, I'm gonna make my way to one of the Deathright birds that we saw earlier. That was a boss basically right at the start of the run. Some of the bosses that you can see on the map, like these ones, have a special icon. Those are usually to be fought on the second day. Not always is that gonna be the case. Like the Magma Worm on top of the castle is a boss like that. But for example, this Deathright bird, I definitely don't wanna engage with early. And here I can do something kind of cheeky with my buffs, right, Pup?
Yes, so definitely. Which, so Deathright birds are very weak to holy and usually very tanky, which right now you can see Kata is just smashing through this Deathright bird. If you're playing this game yourself, you'll be like, what the? How is he doing that? And that is because of the way those holy buffs interact, right? Mm-hmm. With sacred, which one is that? Sacred Order?
Everything is sacred. Pup, it's very easy to get confused.
Yeah,
until I started playing Nightreign, like I genuinely didn't remember which buff was exactly which, because they're in base Elden Ring as well. But yeah, so Sacred Blade was on the weapon, and Sacred Order is what I used on the offhand. Yeah.
And Sacred Order is a buff that, as long as you keep it in your offhand, it multiplies the holy you.
I mean, that part I will explain in a second, I think. But essentially, that gives you a bonus against undead specifically as well, and Sacred Blade does too. Sacred Blade is a buff that you apply to your weapon, and Sacred Order is basically a character buff. It's called body buffs. However, Sacred Order is kind of special as well. Like I said, I don't want to get into it now. We'll have time for it throughout the run, because the interaction is a little specific. Insane Meteor Strike. I don't think I've ever done this one on this seed.
Yeah, I've done these Meteor Strikes a few times, but...
Bonus boss, I'll take it.
That's true.
Falling Star Beast. Get extra loots, extra damage. Yeah, there are basically these like random events that can occur during a run. For one of these is this Meteor Strike. And they're supposed to be, yeah, random, but like not really, because we are talking about the different map patterns, and these random quote-unquote events are also part of those specific map patterns. So that's why Pap was able to say to me at the very beginning of this expedition, like, oh, it's gonna be a Meteor Strike on, you know, day one. Because it's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Alright, so what are the weaknesses that we are trying to exploit on the final boss here of this expedition?
So the dogs, or the Tricopilos, or Gladius, however you want to call them, is weak to holy.
Yep.
So in Nightreign, there's a mechanic that some bosses will stagger and take quite a bit of damage if you attack them with the element that they're weak to. And before the expedition, there's always an icon that shows you actually what that Night Lord that you're going for is weak to. Mm-hmm. So during the expedition, you can go exactly to the camps that have that element. to try to maybe find a weapon with that with their weakness.
Yep.
And in this case, it is holy, and it can be pretty important, I feel, especially in more casual settings, because here in the speedrun, we'll usually have so much damage that it almost doesn't matter as much, right? But if you're playing this expedition casually and you have a holy weapon, it's gonna be huge for you because the dog splits into multiple smaller dogs, and they will chase you. And if you're playing solo, it can feel really, really unfair. But if you have a holy weapon, then you can stagger them, and that gives you some time to run away from them, or of course fight them.
Yeah, so we have a really interesting ensemble of items over here. So there's another order, something that is sacred, but not really. It's called shared order. So this is, I think, a decent time to talk about the buffs briefly, as we are getting set up for the second boss. So there are multiple buff types in this game, and only different types of buffs can actually be stuck together. The buffs are as follows. You have the weapon buff, which you already saw in the Sacred Blade. It is also the grease items that you can see right now in the bottom left, right? That adds damage to your weapon, and it adds that element as well. Or the extra damage is done in that element. So fire grease, you know, not going to be the best because it's a fire dog, so I would like to use something else if possible, specifically lightning grease. I also picked up the holy grease. That's also good.
Yeah, I mean, earlier also you were fighting the magma worm with fire grease. And you would think, oh, it's a magma worm, it's like a fire-type enemy. No. Why would you put fire grease on your weapon for that? But that is because you also get a base buff, just a physical damage buff, just from applying a grease.
Well, not really.
Oh, not
actually,
really.
not yet.
Not yet.
You are correct, but not yet.
Bad.
But you get extra damage, and like even though the boss negates it partially, like it's still extra damage, right? Even if it's negated. Like so, some grease is better than no grease, basically, because it doesn't change the element of your weapon. It just adds extra damage of that specific element, if that makes sense. So those are the weapon buffs. Then we have body buffs. Those basically are applied to your character specifically. And that is the stuff like Exalted Flesh that we used on the first night boss, or for example the Blood Bowl aromatics, which are huge, that we got from the merchant. They increased my damage by over 30%, I believe, which is which is a lot. It is a lot. Okay, we can drop this one. See what this dropped. Just one of these passives, for example, improve stamina recovery. Not really the biggest deal, but sometimes it could mean an extra arrow, whereas otherwise I wouldn't be able to get that one. So we have weapon buffs and we have body buffs. On top of that, you also have aura buffs, which are basically applied to you and potentially your teammates, right? Because normally this is supposed to be a 2 or 3 player co-op game. That's kind of how it was designed, with 3 player co-op in mind. We are playing solo today. Makes it a little bit more challenging, but also you do make more runes than, for example, in a trios match. So there's a little bit of kind of balancing going on as this Red Wolf is jumping around. That's kind of classic. So we have 3 different types of buffs. That is not all of it, though, because there are also aura buffs I mentioned. There are also unique buffs. And unique buffs stack actually with everything that you applied already. And currently we do not really have any unique buff, except for the Sacred Order. And I'll mention how Sacred Order interacts with everything in a second, because it's a little more complicated, and I think I don't want to drop all the knowledge in the first expedition. So we know that the circle's already closing in. Our lineup of things that we have is actually pretty solid. We have an aura buff in Sacred Order. We also have a body buff twice, well, 3 times. These 2, for example, cannot stack, right? I can only use one of them. But because I have 2, I can use one for the final boss and one for the second night boss that we'll be fighting next. So we have that ticked as well. We have the greases for our weapon buffs. And then we have a unique in the Sacred Order. So shared order, Sacred Order, just a lot of order and stuff. So the lineup is pretty good. When I look at my passives, I mean, I have wrenched weapon attacks bonus, attack power at full HP, so I'm gonna have to make sure to dodge as many attacks as possible. Projectile damage drop-off reduction, that's very, very nice. It means that when I'm further from a target, as I said before, I'm not actually gonna deal that much less damage. Let's see, do we have time for this? Maybe?
Should have maybe used the fist weapon to break the poise of this guy.
That makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah, these Crystallians work in a little special way. They're weak to strike because like every weapon has a different type of physical damage. Some of them can be strike, like this fist, and some of them can also just be standard or pierce, which is also interesting because the bow specifically is pierce, and pierce weapons are good in that they have a inherent counter-attack mechanic, which means that if I hit someone in an animation, I will deal extra damage to them. Which is quite nice. Which is quite nice because some of these passives from the trinkets, they actually can increase that counter hit damage as well, which a lot of classes cannot benefit from, but Aradai indeed can.
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah, please.
We have just opened a new milestone. If we reach $35,500 by the time we reach the last expedition of this run, then Puppery and Kata will do it 2 players, 1 controller.
Hell yeah.
You're okay with that, right?
Yeah, of course I am.
Sure.
Great.
All right, guys, well, get the donations in. You have plenty of time. I will also add that it can happen even during the last expedition. Pup can just kind of jump in during it, so you guys have time.
I guess that's true. As long as it happens maybe before the last boss.
Yeah.
Although, I guess I can jump in for the last attack too, no?
Okay, now you can insert your favorite memes about stacking a bunch of different buffs. So this boss is actually quite annoying because there's 3 of them. Normally my ultimate for this would be fantastic, right? Because it's a multi-hits to all of them. However, I need to keep it for the Night Lord, otherwise that fight is going to be really annoying. So normally, if you're doing PB attempts, you're not really going to take this pattern, right? Because the night bosses that you encounter are also set in stone. And so if I basically start a run and I see, okay, this is a pattern that has Tree Sentinel as the Night 2 boss, I will just reset and I will try again until I get a pattern that does not have that.
Yeah.
But all things considered, you can see this damage is quite good. So we have to get this trinket. Improved physical attack power plus 9%. That is like one of the best ones that I can get because it's unconditional damage boost. And then I have to get into this weird goop to basically go into day 3 and fight the first Night Lord of the run, which is going to be Tricopilos.
Gladius.
Yes.
The dogs.
The dogs. So again, I'll be stacking a bunch of buffs. I will start with the Shared Order, then I will switch to the Sacred Order. Actually, I will use Shared Order, then Blood Boil, then the other order. It's just a lot of stuff.
I think we all trust you to do it correct and in the
I
best
don't trust
order.
myself sometimes.
I trust you fully. You seem to know your buffs.
Okay, with 2-hand, Sacred Order. And now the only thing that we need is the Holy Grease. The boss has spawned in. I'm dealing very good damage from that kind of distance. And now I'm going to see what the boss does. And I'm going to try to do as many... That is fine. I'm going to try to do as many top R2s as possible. Did I hit the mark there? I think I did. Okay. I don't have full HP, which is kind of annoying. And now I'll try to line my ulti for all 3 of the dogs, deal insane damage. And I cannot hit the guy who has the mark on him, but that's the boss fight done. Nice, okay.
Good job.
Thank you. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. So, yeah, basically the idea is buff up as much as possible, mark the target, deal as much top R2s from close range as possible, reapply the mark whenever it's off cooldown, right, which you can see in the middle at the bottom of the screen. And then once he splits up into 3, I immediately use my ultimates to line them up and deal triple damage, essentially. All right, I'll be buying some stuff. What am I buying now, Pup?
You're going to be buying the correct relics, which relics are these stones that you get after every expedition. You get random ones, but here in the speedrun, it's actually only allowed to buy the ones that you can buy from the shop. So there's some guaranteed ones in a shop that you can interact with. It's going to be Crater, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1 second while I figure out the map pattern.
Yeah, first the map pattern, then we'll continue yapping again.
Yeah.
So I mentioned at the start that it is a roguelike. So there are also some elements of meta progression in the game.
So it's gonna be Wormface day 1, Dragonkin Soldier day 2. It's
No need to spoil it though.
Okay.
I think. Like, I can read it now that it's in position, so...
My bad, everyone.
Basically, though, what Pup wanted to say is that this is the best pattern, actually, for this boss. So, like, a lot of... Okay, first, let's finish with the meta progression, right?
Right, so yeah, after every expedition you get random relics, which will give your character... So every character has 3 spots for those relics. They have different colors as well, so you can't put every stone into every slot. But there's also different chalices, is what they're called, that you can buy so that your character also can have... Okay, it's like overcomplicating it a little bit for the explanation, I feel. But yeah, you get those stones, and they also have buffs for each character. So for example, for Iron Eye, there's a stone that will improve the damage a bow does for the whole expedition. And so you put that into the slot before the expedition, and for that expedition you'll have those buffs then. And there's quite a few different things that you can get. There's one that gives Iron Eye 2 marks, for example, so you can use your ability twice instead of just once.
Yeah, okay, that's all cool and all, but the thing is...
yeah, I'm getting to that because in the speedrun, as I mentioned, that would introduce too much RNG. Right? And
yeah, because there are certain relics that are essentially so much stronger than the others that if you finish the first expedition and you don't drop that particular relic, which would be, for example, the Evergel relic if you're familiar with the game, then you might as well reset because you're just going to lose so much time over the course of the run.
Yeah, exactly.
And so because of that...
Because of that, it's banned. And yeah, because nobody really wants to deal with that, right? And so for the leaderboard, they made the decision to just not deal with that kind of RNG, and you can only buy the ones that are in the shop that anyone who buys the game will have access to. And those are a little weaker, but still pretty good. And each character has some relic selections in that shop. And yeah.
Yeah, so there are permanent relics that are in the shop that you can buy, and those are always the same, like no matter the save file. And so those are the only ones that are allowed in the speedrun. So I bought 2 of them. One I also got from the game, so you also get some from like the story progression of the game, essentially, which is the pocket watch that I'm using. That just gives me a little bit of like extra dexterity. It's not really a big deal. Doesn't really change much. What is a lot more interesting, though, as that guy just got absolutely destroyed. I missed my mid-air no-scope there. What is much more important is a relic that I bought, which gives me... Oh, Miss Begotten Shormo, cool. It gives me lightning grease, as you can see at the bottom of the bottom left corner of the screen. It gives me lightning greases at the beginning of every expedition, 2 of them. And that's quite good, because the next Night Lord that we'll be fighting is Fulgor. It's basically like kind of a centaur... yeah, pretty much a centaur, which is weak to lightning. And then the boss that I'll be fighting after that is also weak to lightning. And I'm not guaranteed, like we mentioned the different patterns for the map and stuff, the items that we find are completely random every time though. So I'm not guaranteed to actually get those lightning greases that I kind of need for those fights. So being able to start with them at the very beginning of the match is pretty huge. Then I also have a relic that basically gives me a unique buff, and it increases my damage whenever I actually use a grease. It's by 10% for like 30 seconds. And it stacks with everything as well. So yeah, I think as I'm basically just killing this troll, kind of the similar start to last expedition, I'm getting these upgrade stones. Murtag, please.
Yep, absolutely. We have a $20 donation from Lexico Engine with no message. We also have a $50 donation from Sir Gideon Ofnir, who says, "A speedrunner cannot end Nightreign fast, not even you." And we have a $100 donation from Incommunicado.
Hell yeah.
Might be getting it wrong, saying, "Hey, Kana, best of luck on Fortnite, Souls. Tell me, why isn't Bed of Chaos in this game SMH?"
Inko, thank you so much. That's the runner of the Minish Cap earlier from the week. Really cool dude, had a great run as well. Thank you for the generous donation. Have a safe travel home. Yeah, I asked myself the same question because I think with Iron Eye, it would be a lot easier to actually defeat Bed of Chaos, because throwing the Toki bombs left and right to the orbs in base DS1, man, that is a pain. That is a pain. Thank you very much, guys. Keep the donos coming.
So the bow that catalystz upgraded is actually kind of interesting, because if you've played Elden Ring, you might be familiar with the short bows or different kinds of bows. In Elden Ring, short bows have less range than other bows, but they deal a little bit more damage. In Nightreign, they actually basically normalized the range of all bows, and everything has the same distance, but the damage is still better on the short bow. So it's like basically
well, the misbegotten short bow specifically.
Yeah.
Short bow itself is trash, actually.
Fair. Well, there's many bows that are trash.
Yeah.
But this
true.
one in particular has the best scaling.
Oh, I'm getting cornered, and that's the first death of the run. Not a big deal when this happens. You lose a level, which I'm level 4, so it's not too bad, but I can also pick up my souls back, which will have the souls that I had at that time, which was over 30k, and souls for that level that I'm losing. So if I die again without getting it back from an enemy very often, then yeah, that would be pretty bad. That will set us back, but otherwise, it's all good.
It's gonna be fine. Surely.
Surely.
I mean, last run, we finished the run at level 15 and still had 200,000 runes left. So there you could see that usually you finish a run with quite a lot of money in your bank that you can't even spend. Uh-oh.
There's a lot of enemies around here. I kind of went through the castle in like a funny way. Yeah, I couldn't roll there. I just got comboed. I was mashing, but excuse me. There's a little bit of a sickness still going around, so I'm struggling slightly, but not just in game. All right, so that was fine. That's okay. I mean, I did lose like 45k or something, which is not great because it means this entire first part of the castle was kind of good for nothing. However, that's the thing with Nightreign speedruns is like you want to play really well so that you have as many item checks as possible basically open to you, so you have the highest chance of getting some good gear. However, if I just get lucky, and even though I do fewer item checks, oh my god, I'm about to get destroyed again. Even though I do fewer item checks, if I just get lucky and the items are good, then you know, it's fine. Okay, he can still hit me up here, so it's not really safe to do that. I really just need to kill this guy with the shield. Like, that's been the problem. And now I'm cornered again. But I'm running away, so it's kind of okay.
Well, you almost have your ult as well. That might help.
Yeah, I can send it here. Nice corridor. And there's another guy behind me. Oh my god. I really don't want to use my lightning greaves because I want to try to keep them as much as possible for the Night Lord.
Yeah.
But I might have to use one at the top of the castle anyway. I feel like killing the castle boss is pretty worth it. In this instance, it's going to drop a lot of runes. Because it also depends on which boss is up there. And the more powerful bosses, or what the game considers to be more powerful bosses, hello? Nice heart attack. Yeah, they drop more runes than, like, for example, the Magma Worm that I killed. Okay, this guy originally cost me my runes, so maybe I can get a revenge. Again, I'm trying to go for headshots because you can see not only do I stagger, I mean, this was a big stagger because the mark procced, but I can stagger the enemy and I can deal extra damage, so it's basically 2 for 1. Obviously, the worst part is if I miss the arrow completely, then I'm just kind of missing out on DPS. Like that.
Nice.
But yeah, a big part of the run, and whether you have a run that is good or not, for you know, the leaderboard purposes, is basically what map patterns do you end up getting. So per regular boss fight, as in regular expedition, like the one that we just had, you have 20 different patterns to choose from, which is, you know, that's okay. It's nothing crazy, but it's okay. Or I say to choose from, like it's just gonna happen, right? Like you're just gonna get one of those patterns. That's all right. The thing is, there's also this feature that the game has called Shifting Earth, where basically the map alters temporarily. It might be for 1 expedition, it might be for 2, it might be for 3, and right now we have the crater. So because we are playing from a fresh save file, the game essentially gives us specific shifting Earths that are the same every time, because it serves basically as a tutorial, right? So right now we have the crater. The problem is that per expedition, on a shifting earth, you only have 5 different patterns suddenly. And that's where kind of like casually one of the problems with this game comes in is that the lack of variety can really hurt you. Like if you're basically trying to defeat a boss in an expedition and you keep on going against it multiple times because you cannot beat it, for example, like, and you have a shifting earth active, like you will notice that suddenly, oh, there's like 3 patterns that I keep on getting, and that can be a little frustrating as well. So even without this tool, like you might be able to memorize some of these patterns basically. Without the C tool that we are using.
Yeah, you usually pick up on it pretty quickly, I think, because as soon as you get the same Night 1 boss multiple times in a row with the same castle boss, you're like, huh, that seems familiar.
Okay, so this is gonna be kind of close. The circle's already closing in. I don't know if I have enough time to actually beat this guy. I would love to, and I'll try my best.
Yeah. And the Fortnite circle is coming in. But you can see the Mark procs really deal a lot of damage.
Oh, it's gonna hit. Yep.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, this is kind of rough. Luckily, as I said, this is the best map pattern that you can get for this expedition. So the first night boss is actually not going to be very tanky. So even though this first day is not going that well, and this is really bad spawn, actually, because I'll be quite far away from the rooftop, and I really need to get my runes. It's doable at level 3, don't get me wrong. Like, we would be fine. It's just not optimal, necessarily.
Yeah. Would be good to get those runes, I think.
Yeah, I'll try to do a different skip here. That's going to be a little bit faster from this side. You can see the circle's already here, so that's not great. So I kind of need to hit this. That's not gonna work. Not really my fault. Game's fault, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna head into the circle. Make sure that we're there on time. That's better than just being giga late. And I'll have to do this at level 3, which it has happened before. I'm gonna make sure to pick up this environmental buff. So this actually serves as a unique buff as well. It's extra damage to physical elements and also fire. I don't really have fire right now. I only have 1 lightning grease, which I'll probably have to use. Otherwise, we would lose too much time on this boss. But it lasts 2 minutes, and it's always in the same spots around the castle. And so I try, if I know that there's a boss basically for a night that's close to the castle, I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up basically as I'm running to the boss to try and have that extra basically free damage. So the good thing is that I already have that Misbegotten Shortbow upgraded to purple, so like even though you might think, oh, this is a level 3 Night 1 boss, this will be a disaster. Hey, it might be, I don't know. But I do have a weapon that's quite strong. That's kind of the saving grace. And then I have 2 buffs, plus we have the environmental buff, plus I also will have my extra grease buff from my relic that I bought and equipped, so we'll see how it goes.
Just gotta lock in.
Yeah, I guess so. And I'm dead. What are you doing? That's okay. So the timer is still counting down, basically, at the moment. So I might be able to recover this. Okay, this guy is not being friendly right now. My mark is almost procced. There we go. It's gonna go down. I'm gonna make sure to heal up. And you can see how like quickly this run can kind of escalate. Like you make 1 small mistake, which was not rolling the lightning correctly, and all of it kind of spiraled, right? Okay, so we're level 3. I'm gonna apply 1, 2. I did lose my environmental buff, but that's okay. Where's the boss? Oh, I'm on the wrong side. That's fine, but you can see like we're still dealing very solid damage to the boss actually. I'm gonna get hit here. Send the ulti. I think my damage is too low for me to actually get the kill up close. Is Deathright gonna get me?
If you just stay away, Lo,
we're
fine.
Good. We're good. Okay, that was a little close for comfort, but we got it in the end. So this boss is not very powerful when it comes to its damage output and when it comes to its HP, but it has this gimmick where there's basically like constant fog around him, which builds up Death Blight. And if that Death Blight build up, you could see the bar in the middle of your screen. That's insta-death. Like, I would have actually lost this entire expedition, which is not good. So it was a little close, but we got through it in the end.
Actually, I think you still had your cheat death left because the first death was
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, yeah.
Because the circle wasn't closed in. So in Nightreign, to make it a little bit easier on the solo players, for every Night 1 and Night 2 and even the Night Lord, for all those 3 bosses, you get 1 free death, basically. So you don't have to do it completely deathless. And then there's also items that you could buy to give you another cheat death. But since the circle didn't close in completely yet, it was just counted as a normal death in-game, where your runes just get lost and you pick them back up again, and it's no big deal. So I think you would have actually been fine either way.
Well, yeah, to elaborate on that as well, because this is, in the end, Fortnite Souls. If you're playing the multiplayer portion of this game and one of your friends gets downed, they do not actually die initially. They're basically crawling on the ground, like in a Battle Royale, and you can revive them by hitting them, which is kind of funny. But yeah, you attack them, and then you can respawn them, essentially. However, in solo, there's no one to respawn you when you go down. So the way they did it is they added these passive revives. So as Pap outlined, basically for each night boss, you will get a revive for free. And that's also the only point where you can really lose the expedition. Like, you can lose your progress, your runes and stuff like that, if you die during the day. But if you die at night and you revive and you die again, you just lose the expedition and you have to basically try from scratch.
Yeah, which for a speedrun, of course, that is the death of the whole run.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate because it's the same with like game crashes. They don't happen very often, but it's happened to me before that I'm on a run and then during the expedition the game crashes, and because there's no saving your game state during an expedition, yeah, you just lose the run, right?
Yeah.
So you might be like 90 minutes in of a 2.5 hour long run and you just lose it. But luckily, the game doesn't crash that often. All right, we got physical attack power as a passive. Again, that's very, very good. And now I am mostly looking for any kind of consumables because of how this run has gone. I haven't gotten that many yet. We have another visitor. These are Banished Knights. You can see that the pattern of the castle is different. Last time it was Trolls, this time it's Banished Knights. Banished Knights are quite good. I just approached them from the wrong side, essentially, so I got kind of ganked at the beginning. But they drop decent amount of runes. Some of them drop the trinkets as well, so I can get passives or items. So like overall, the Banished Knights castle is probably the best one for Aronai, actually. Because like even though these guys... Oh, he just got wrecked. Even though these guys have shields, they don't block that often. And you can headshot them as well and deal a lot of damage that way. There's one more pattern that we are missing. I don't know if we will get to see it in the run. That just depends on the RNG. And that's Crucible Knights. And Crucible Knights have shields as well. And you cannot headshot them. Okay, well now it worked.
Always when you don't need it as much anymore. Nice.
Alright, but me dying lost me the runes that I had up here,
Yeah.
actually. I kind of forgot about that.
Yep. But it's okay. I mean, you'll be very rich at the end, surely, hopefully.
I'm not so sure, exactly.
Well, we'll see. It's usually the most important to get to level 12. That's pretty much the perfect level, after which you only get diminishing returns for
For
each
the
level
stats,
up. Yeah, so as long as we get to level 12, I think we're pretty much good, and we're level 11 now, so I think you'll be fine.
Let's finish up the rest of the castle. So here we also have a kitty cat. It's funny because the Lion Guardian can hit these Banished Knights as well, so I might get a little bit of help. Yeah, there you go, case in point. It's quite good. But you could see, like, for example, when I was fighting DTS, right, the Draconic Tree Sentinel at the top of the castle on day 1, I was level 3 when I was fighting it. This time I was level 6, so you would think, oh, I'm like stronger this time. But last time I was actually able to use my consumables, and the damage here on day 2 with higher levels was lower than what I was dealing on that first day, which goes to show how important these consumables are, and like stacking them is... Stacking the different damage types that we have available to us. So this rain that you could see, the magical rain, that is one of the trinket passives that I picked up. It's actually pretty neat. The problem is that it usually only goes against or it spawns at a target that you have locked onto. And I don't really lock on super often in the castle because I'm usually free aiming. So you can see right now it just kind of spawned wherever I was, which might be, you know, quite far away from an enemy. Like here, it's gonna just spawn over me, right? Even though I'm attacking an enemy that's actually there. So it's quite unlucky. Alright, we can get this triple chest over here. And then we'll head towards the lightning grease is huge.
That is really huge. It's especially big for this boss in particular because he has a really, really, really annoying attack that he will do. And with lightning damage, you can completely stagger him out of it.
Yeah.
It's a unique mechanic of that boss, basically, because he winds up and then he summons a lot of spears around them, and they're RNG where they fall, and usually you have to play a lot more passively so that you don't get one-shot by all the arrows. But yeah, you can completely get him out of that attack during the wind-up if you have lightning damage or enough poise damage built up.
So what's interesting about looting these corpses, there are specific corpses on the map that actually have a higher chance to drop you a legendary, which is like legendary. They are basically different weapon rarities, right, in the game. And the white one is the base one, then you have a rare, which is blue, and then you have like, I don't know, ultra rare, which is purple, and then you have a legendary, which is yellow, kind of the classic game stuff that you would expect.
Gold, I guess, probably.
Yeah, golden, I guess, that's the idea. And not only does the weapon scale, like its damage scales, but also the passives. So basically, if I find something that's white and it has attack power at full HP, it is going to be lower percentage bonus that I get compared to a weapon that is normally purple. However, it does not actually work also when I'm upgrading. Like you can see my bow is purple, but the passive itself did not get any better. Which is a little bit of a shame, but also like it's just part of balancing in a way. Because we are talking about the different bows and their damage. The different bows and different weapons also just scale differently. So for example, this Misbegotten short bow is literally the best scaling bow in the game, meaning that if I'm full level and I fully upgrade it, which I will, it is going to deal more damage than any other bow in the game. And if I could combine that with also having like a really big passive, that would be pretty strong, right? So generally the idea is that, okay, if you find the purple bow, it might have lower damage, something like black bow, still very good. But if you roll a good passive on it, like improved ranged attack damage, well then suddenly, you know, that is a better bow than the one that I am carrying around.
Yeah, that brings a little bit of decision making into it as well, right? You can't just I mean, you can just use whatever you pick up right at the start of the game, but very, very often you'll throughout the game find more and more legendary.
I need to do a skip here, sorry to interrupt you, because we are kind of running out of time. So we are in this shifting earth, and if I use my ability midair, I can get to the bottom of the crater just like that. So we skipped like a pretty huge portion of this. I would love to show you how like how much we actually skipped in the next expedition, because we'll have created for one more expedition after this.
Yeah.
Our friend Magmaworm is back as well as a guaranteed boss here in the crater. That's another thing about the shifting earths, is that they are always the same, right? Like, I'm not gonna have a random boss here. It's always gonna be Magmaworm.
Yeah.
Just like that Falling Star Beast I defeated, that's always gonna be Falling Star Beast. So that introduces some element of consistency, but at the same time, like, casually it would be nice to have a little bit more of a randomization for those particular areas.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, because this expedition hasn't been the fastest, right? Like my clear of the castle was pretty bad on day 1. I had to spend a lot of time there on day 2. I didn't even finish it fully. I needed to do the skip to make sure that I get to the bottom, and the reason for that is I was talking about this legendary rarity that is gold. Well, there's this special forge at the beginning of the crater, and I can use it to upgrade my Misbegotten shortbow to +3, so I get more damage that way.
Yeah, and this is the only way to get a not already legendary weapon to legendary.
Yeah.
This crater.
Alright, so there's some tech here as well with this Spectral Hawk. We're going kind of crazy with the tech back to back right now. So we can take basically the Spectral Hawk to traverse the map a little bit more. However, here it just works as a way to get out of the crater. That said, you can take over the Spectral Hawk. Normally, it kind of goes on a preset path, and you can take over it to, you know, change it up a little bit. However, if I keep on going over the lava like this, I can use this airstream to actually get tons of height and get to an area that I normally wouldn't really be able to get to easily from the bottom of the crater. I don't think it's intended. Like, it makes a lot of sense that the hot air would, you know, give you this boost. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And it's a great way to actually get to this next boss, which, if I couldn't do this, I would have to come here first, because I'm basically on a higher plane, and I would have to drop down to the Falling Star Beast after that, and then to the crater after that. So that was pretty cool. As I said, we will have crater for one more expedition, so if that expedition does okay, goes okay, and the pattern allows me, I would like to show you what we actually skipped. And that's because, like, in the crater, there's a lot of the corpses that I was talking about, right? That have the higher percentage chance of giving me a good loot, good rarity loot. And I don't really care for the weapons too much. I care about the good passives, right? That's the idea, is that I don't want to have 7% ranged. I want to have 14 if I can help it. So, like, it's not even bad to go through the crater necessarily. Unlucky drop on this trinket.
That is so mean.
Yeah. And it was trash anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately those rains don't stack. So you can... I feel like they should have disabled that you can get something that doesn't stack again, right? Like, you already have that star rain and you just got it again as a reward, but it doesn't really do anything. So that's a little unfortunate.
So the circle's closing in for day 2, but we do have some time still. I forgot to check exactly the merchant over here. Oh, Sacred Order, that's nice. That's good. I should have realized that was there. Could have used it a little earlier. Not a big deal. So our loot is just bad, right? I didn't really get lucky. Like, I looted as much as I could. I didn't play this expedition very well. Let's be real. That's fine. That happens. But I also kind of didn't really get lucky. Like, I looted a bunch of corpses. It dropped basically a bunch of trash that was unusable for us. So I'm stuck with my bow, which luckily is Misbegotten Shortbow. So I have the best bow in the game for in that regard. And I was able to upgrade it to Legendary with the crater. I've had expeditions definitely where I wasn't actually able to get to the bottom of the crater. So that's good. That's always good to be able to do that. And having that Sacred Order is quite good as well, because it will give me 10% extra damage as well. The problem is, attack power at full HP is quite nice as well. That's kind of clutch right at the end. The problem is I only have 1 grease, which that's not good. I would love to get some more fire greases out of this area, but I have time to maybe loot like 2 items over here. It would be great if I could get an extra grease, because I'll be using one of them as pup set for the final boss of this expedition, because he's weak to lightning and because I need to interrupt that attack. It's not going to be enough, probably, with this damage. I'll probably run out of the grease, because the greases only last a specific amount of time. Oh, fire grease. Nice.
That's cool.
So that's a grease that I can use for this boss coming up, for the second night boss, actually. So that's really good. Attack power at low HP. It's actually a very interesting stat to get. It's potentially usable on day 1. Because on day 2, like... if you set up to be low HP for day, or rather for night 2 boss, that could work, right? You're gonna get a lot of extra damage, but then you go into the Night Lord at full health, and a bunch of gear that is basically conditioned to low health. So, like, the way the strat could work is that you use the circle of day 1, actually, when night 2 is starting, go low health, so I'm talking like less than 20% health, get those extra bonuses from that, and then have a lot of damage for that first night boss. But then you have to kind of replace your gear, because it's not good for the Night Lord. That wouldn't really work. Okay, let's get this environmental bonus. Exalted Flesh. Use the Fire Grease. Oh, oops, I didn't... yeah, that's bad. That's fine, though. So Grease is gone, because I messed up the buff order. That's what I was talking about, that it's actually pretty important to buff correctly. However, I still, from using the Grease, I still ended up getting the bonus from my Relic, right? So that's good. Synergy's kind of not great, yeah, because I'm going to get hit here. Gonna make sure to heal up. Mark through his attack. Not mark him and get hit myself. Fantastic. So the plan was there. The execution was lacking. I was too close as well. I'm out of flasks, so we kind of have to lock in. Now he's going to be running away, which is not great. This is potentially where Power of Ironite comes in, having that ranged attack. But he's stalling like crazy. I need him to just attack me. There we go. Okay, roll it. Use the mark. All right. Got the kill.
I wasn't nervous at all.
Oh, we still had a res. It was fine. It was fine. And faster art gauge buildup. I just picked something. Like I just needed to pick because I want to take this environmental bonus and carry it over to the Night Lord fight actually. So I can get it here, guaranteed from the crater, and then because it lasts 2 minutes, it goes even through this load screen basically, or brief load screen. All right, there's one final merchant. I was able to buy one more Exalted Flesh, which like, yeah, beggars can't be choosers. I mean, I only had one, so having an extra one is very nice. Let's make sure that I actually this time apply the buffs correctly.
I can see the lightning grease is actually very important, as I mentioned before, with that one annoying attack.
Okay, boss is spawning. Buffs are in. There's Fulgor. That's a really good opener. You want to see that. We can go right through it. Now tap R2s while we are close. Roll this one. Mark should proc any moment. There it is. Okay. There's the attack that Pap was talking about. So now we will interrupt it thanks to our lightning damage. He will be transitioning to phase 2. That's where I'm going to use my ultimate on this big AoE. Mini stagger, another mark. Okay, if I had a lot of damage, I would not have to deal with these attacks at all. But we got a stagger as well. I can come in for the rippos. There should be a lot of damage. Mark almost procced, and the boss is dead. Nice.
GG.
Okay. That was good. That was I mean, it was not good in terms of speed because my damage was bad, but it was good in terms of execution of the fight at least.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very that's actually a lot of people's favorite Night Lord, I would say.
I would say as well.
He's
Yeah.
a very, very fun boss to fight, and we didn't get to show a lot of his moveset, which is good though.
Yeah, it's true. True. All right, we get a conversation. We don't really care about that, and instead we're gonna go into the next expedition. Please set up the map for me.
Yes, of course.
All right, so we're 2 out of 5 in, and let's hope that this next one goes a little bit better. So this is the reason why we are using, well, I don't want to say the reason we are using Iron Eye, but because we are using Iron Eye, we decided to go for this particular boss, which is Maris. Is this the, no, okay. This is not a good pattern that we are dealing with right now. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. It's not the worst. It's not the best, unfortunately. That's kind of how it goes. Like, the further you get into the run, the higher are the chances that you actually get a bad pattern, which is, like, exactly the opposite of what you would want.
Yeah. But at least it's a good pattern for a showcase of the game, I think, because the day 1 boss is something cool.
Is it?
It's like a big part of the appeal of the game, I would say. So in Nightreign, they decided to include bosses not only from Elden Ring, but also from prior Souls games. So from Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. And we'll get to show you one of them on day 1.
Okay, this is like a really nice start right now. Because this camp gave us some aromatics, which are great buffs. And it also gave us greases. Like, this is really good. However, the problem is that now, because of this crater, as you can see, there's no tunnel. So, like, I can't get my stone that I would normally get up here, you know? So that's not good. So now I basically, I guess I could have taken the Spirit Hawk, actually, but I need to go over a Grace anyway. So I have to run down south to this tunnel over here to get my purple stone, my upgrade. Or I could also play it a little bit differently, but I need to go to a Grace for that. I could do this a little bit differently. You know what? Let's try. But then if I do that, I don't get to show the crater, and I wanted to show the crater. So let's just go south.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Yeah, you could, I mean, we showed the skip already, right? And what you could do is, when you spawn in at the top like this, since there is no tunnel, you could just instead go straight to the Magma Worm boss in the crater with the skip.
Yeah. And the reason for that is that I could be upgrading directly to gold.
Yeah.
However, I would be forced to upgrade my starting bow, which is fine. Like, it's not the worst bow. But then I would be out of options if I actually found something a little bit better. If I find something a little bit better, the crater is nice because I can upgrade that to gold and just use that instead. Which, you know, I wouldn't be able to do if I use the crater immediately. So, I was going to talk about a little bit of the routing before we looked into the map pattern. And that's because we are playing as Iron Eye, we basically get, throughout the run, we get one choice. I said at the very beginning that I will have access to the final boss after we do 4 expeditions, right? The first one is always the same. It's always the dog because it's a fresh save file, so the game doesn't give you a choice. And then we need to beat 3 different Night Lords, and we can basically choose out of 5. We can choose out of 5. One of them is a dragon, which runs away a lot and stalls no matter what. So that is basically out of the out of the list of possibilities completely. Then there's Libra, which is basically a madness beast, madness demon, and there's Maris, which is the boss that we are going against. So the problem with Maris is that he loves to run away. It's basically like an underwater boss, and it keeps on swimming around all the time. But that's because, or rather, that's why we are going for it specifically as Iron Eye, because we get to attack it even though it's running away and floating around, because we have range. If we were playing Raider, we wouldn't be doing this particular expedition. Instead, we would be going for Libra, because Libra is quite susceptible to staggers, and a big axe deals a lot of stagger damage as well. So that's just a little bit of routing that we are doing. And then the second part is the order of these bosses, because as soon as we beat the first expedition, we basically get the choice to go against anyone except for the final boss, logically. And the reason we are doing it in this order is so that the second to last expedition, Adele, will have a different shifting earth, right? Because they're basically guaranteed to be 2 craters and then 2 mountains, and then you would get the Rotwood, but by then the run is already done. We will have reached the credits at that point. I'll talk about why that is important later when it actually comes into play. But yeah, it is important to make sure to have mountains for Adele. Alright, I'm going to be killing this troll again for another purple stone, which we have seen in the last expedition as well. I use my Exalted Flesh because I need 1 more slot anyway for the stone. And Mortag, this would be a perfect time to get some donations in.
Thank you so much. We have a $10 donation from Puritan saying a controversial message. Hand-holding on stream is forbidden. Do not let them make that milestone, everyone. And with that $10 donation, we are $10 closer to meeting that milestone. Thank you very much, Puritan. And we also have a $40 anonymous donation with no message, and they put that towards Waluigi for our poll for what characters we're going to play as in the Mario Party relay later. As a quick update, later after this run, we're going to have a relay with over 50 runners, basically half of the people at the event playing through Mario Party. And we've got a poll for what the characters are going to be. And right now we have Luigi in first place to be our player character. Rosalina, Donkey Kong, and Waluigi are in second, third, and fourth place. Will be the CPUs we'll be against. And then we have Yoshi, Wario, Mario, and Peach currently will be sat on the bench. So if you want to see any of those characters, get your donations in.
Yeah, perfect. I don't know which character you would like to see. I would like to see Rosalina.
Why?
Because she's cute.
That's fair. That is a fair.
Simple as that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Also, we wouldn't be holding hands, just controller, you know?
Also, it's Valentine's Day, so like...
True.
Give us a break, guys. Hello. Okay, so now we have another special event. The same way that we had the Meteor Strike, this time we are having Locusts. And basically, there are these Locust explosions. You can kind of hear them in the background as I'm running through the castle. Anytime the explosion happens, there are a bunch of Locusts that fly out. Where the hell is it? And it basically points me towards where the boss is. Because this is actually a boss that spawns.
Okay, this is like one of the best. Usually, it makes you run across the whole map. Yeah.
I mean, it's a little funky, generally the way it's supposed to work. That doesn't mean that that's how it actually works, but it's supposed to spawn at like the closest night boss available location, right? But it kind of like combines different things. It doesn't just take your coordinates into play. But so we defeated this moth. We got integration of intelligence. And what this passive actually does for us, right? Like last time we only killed Falling Star Beast. What this passive does for us is that I have a 5% chance to actually get extra runes. Slow. Yes, I have a 5% chance of getting extra runes per attack. So in theory, it would be better to deal less damage actually, so that I get to attack as much as possible. However, as we have outlined, we generally deal, we make a lot of money through these runs. Like even last run, I was max level, right? And that was kind of a disaster, all things considered. I think I was max level at least.
You were, yeah.
Yeah, so even with that, like we were able to get enough runes through the run. However, it could help for something like the Night 1. Like I might just have more money for Night 1 boss here. Thanks to the locusts. Okay, so I'm outside of the circle right now. I use the ulti, so I should be able to hopefully clear out at least this part of the courtyard. As the guy is already staggered with a headshot. He's healing. That's not allowed. Only I can heal. Hello? Okay,
maybe you should heal.
Yeah, I'm on it. Need to get the kill. And now we're gonna loot whatever is here. Periodic Glim Blades, that's not bad. That's just a little bit of extra damage and extra poise as well. So I can stagger targets a little bit more easily. That is good. And then I look through this. Exalted Flesh, that's good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we will head over to the eastern side of the map now. There's normally, also in the first expedition, if you remember, 2 expeditions ago, there was a Grace right outside of the castle where I was able to level up. But this Shifting Earth actually does not have it. Which is quite unfortunate because it's a very convenient place to be leveling up usually. And so here I have to go a little bit further. Now, obviously, this time it doesn't matter because that part is specifically outside of the circle anyway. Okay, we get to do a little bit more of the castle because this little part is also still outside of the circle, or within the circle, depends on the perspective, I guess. These Banish Knights are pretty funny as well because their leash kinda ends just about here. Like, I'll get the kill, but basically we saw it earlier as well. They just start like running backwards. And I can keep on attacking them. Okay, get the roll. I'll get the backstab. During it, I don't take any damage. You have iframes. Now I can heal. And there you could see like the kind of special effect after those Glin Blades around my character. That was actually exactly those extra runes that I got from that special event that we finished. So right now I'm out of heals. You can see that in the top left. I will go ahead and go to this Grace to replenish my resources real quick. And I'll run back into the castle for that triple chest that we saw. And while I'm doing that, Murtag, you can read out some donos.
Absolutely, we have a $100 donation from Zombie Bait.
Woo!
Thank you so much. With no message, but they put that towards Yoshi, who was outside of our top 4, but is now in 2nd place. But that has pushed out Waluigi. So if you're a Waluigi fan, get your donations in. And we are also less than $800 away from that 2-player 1-controller milestone, but we don't have that much time to hit it yet. Only 1.5 expeditions until then, so get all of your donations in.
Thank you so much for the generous donations, guys. Yeah, I forgot. Yoshi is actually goated, so...
Yeah, Yoshi is cute.
Yeah. Yoshi, go for that guy. Go for that guy. Thank you. Thank you for getting him to 2nd place. He needs to be 1st place, though. Can you imagine we'll play as Yoshi in Mario Party? That would be sick.
Yeah, we'll also be part of the relay later.
Yeah.
That'll be good fun.
Yeah, we got some really hard mini games.
Yeah. I'm terrified.
Okay, so this was actually pretty good. I ended up getting some decent loot out of this castle specifically. So we have Shared Order and Sacred Order, which means I have an aura buff and that special unique as well. And I also got a Grease that I'm really happy about. I'm not gonna exactly say, but yeah, that's good. That's good. So right now, yeah, the boss is... This is also kind of like sometimes unfortunate in some of the map patterns that From Software have cooked up. So we spawned here, right? Like that's kind of where we dropped in out of the Fortnite Battle Bus. And the first night boss is in this corner, actually, right? It's directly there. So normally what players will do is they will clear out the starting area to get the initial levels, but then you finish the first night in the exact same area where you started the expedition, and you just have to run quite far to actually get to something lootable, which is a little unfortunate.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it kind of stings.
Yeah, which is good that we have the Spirit Hawks that let you traverse the map way faster than by foot. But it still is pretty annoying to have to take one
I
of
agree,
those.
definitely.
So helps a bit, but yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can get to at the next level up. I should need like 45 here. Oh, there we go. I got it. Okay. And I got the extra as well from the moth. So you can see the circle's closing in. That means I kind of need to hurry up. But I wanted that extra level here. Just a little bit of power. Gets me to level 10. I can take this Spirit Spring. And there's a cool, neat little skip here as well. Normally you would have to like kind of run around this slope. But we can use these rocks to actually climb up. So the way this works is, well, I mean, the skip itself is quite self-explanatory. But normally in Elden Ring, you cannot actually climb ledges. You have to make it to the top, essentially. But in Nightreign, because there's no torrents, traversal is made easier by your character being able to actually climb something up. Which is, you know, insane novel concept. They haven't really done that since Demon Souls, so that's, yeah, crazy. Demon Souls was 2009 originally.
It's very fun though. And we were talking about Nightreign with someone the other day, and I think they made a really good point that they took quite a few different concepts from their former games and kind of combined them into Nightreign. Like there's the rally system from Bloodborne. There's that traversal from Demon Souls. There's one of the characters actually has the Sekiro parry, so it brings a lot of the games together. And of course there's Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 bosses, which we'll see one now.
Okay, I need to stack these buffs fairly quickly, and this Dragon Wound Grease, now you see the reason for it.
It's him.
Gaping Dragon, yeah, still has the grab. It's not as terrible of a grab as it was in Dark Souls 1, where it would grab you from the other side of the map. Okay, we're gonna ult him from behind.
And you can see the tail cut is even in the game.
And the tail cut is in the game as well. And it drops an item.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? The item is garbage, but it's fine. The boss is down. Very good. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, those were trinkets that are completely unusable for R&I. Unfortunate. And I will, yeah, to speed up traversal, I will actually take the Spirit Hawk as well this time around. And we'll finish up probably just the top of castle and then head over to the crater area so that we can clear it out and actually show off what we skipped in the last expedition.
Sounds good.
So to finally tell you about the Sacred Order, the reason it is so interesting is because there are multiple implementations of Sacred Order specifically in Elden Ring, in the base game. And obviously, technically, that has kind of nothing to do with this game, but it shows the intention of the developers. And they ended up splitting its effects. So normally by default, what it does is that it increases the damage to undead, but it also gives you a 10% damage buff. And it adds a flat damage buff to the weapon itself. But what's interesting is that this unique that stacks with everything, that 10%, is only active while the weapon is equipped, which isn't normally the case. So we for a long time assumed that it was actually a weapon buff and that it's a glitch, that we are basically stacking greases with the Sacred Order on the offhand as well, right? Because Sacred Order is right now on my left-hand weapon and I'm using the bow in the right-hand weapon. But however, after kind of data mining and looking through the actual Elden Ring releases, we discovered that, okay, it's actually a separate effect that is only active while the weapon is out, but it's not actually a weapon buff. So it's fair game to stack Sacred Order and a grease, even though it looks like it's two weapon buffs. They are, in fact, not. Alright, so I'm back at the castle. It's the Banished Knight Castle. I'll be heading towards the top, probably using one of the skips. We'll see what pathing we take. And that is the perfect time to read some donations, because we've seen this before.
Thank you, Kata. Okay, we have a $100 donation
Woo!
from Alxey Jeff. That's a hard name. With no message, but they've put that towards Peach being a character in the Mario Relay. And so now Donkey Kong and Peach are tied in 4th place with $100. So we're going to need at least $1 to break that tie to see which of those is going to make it in. And also we have a $100 donation from Dojian _ saying, thank you for such a great event. It was really fun to watch. And they've put that towards Yoshi in our poll.
What?
And Yoshi is now at $280, only $6. Yoshi is at $286 ahead of Luigi. So right now we are going to be playing as Luigi. If you want to change that, get your donations in.
Okay, that's a close poll, guys. Thank you so much for all the generosity. Obviously, the event has been going on the entire week. If you've, stuck around, we appreciate that. Just being part of the stream already helps us a lot here in our mission to support charity. It gets more eyes on the stream and stuff like that. So if you, obviously, your own well-being and safety should be always the #1 priority. So if you don't have the funds to donate, just hanging out with us is already a huge plus. But to everyone that has donated, thank you so much.
And we're also getting pretty close to the 2-player-1 controller.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh god.
This attack is so cursed. Okay, I'm gonna kind of reset the fight. I'm gonna back off. I used one of my lightning greases. Hopefully that's fine. Oh, I didn't mean to heal that. That was a misinput. And so this is also interesting. So I'm fighting Bell-Bearing Hunter now at the top of the castle, right? And you have seen throughout the run that whenever I use my ultimates, all the bosses end up staggering. This guy doesn't care. Like, I just proc the mark, he doesn't stagger. I used an ulti, he doesn't stagger. Like, he's insane. I don't know why he's different like that. There must be some problem with like the animation cancellation coding.
Yeah, apparently he has an animation coded in the game to also get that stagger, but it's just not working.
Yeah, it just doesn't play. And like the game's been out for, well, since like the end of May and it hasn't been fixed.
Yeah.
So basically everyone knows that Bell-Bearing Hunter in Nightreign is a total Giga Chad.
There's so many memes about it as well. Like if you see any Nightreign memes, there's a good chance that you'll also see a Bell-Bearing Hunter meme of like people seeing him standing there menacingly and just turning around and running.
Yep. Ow. Okay, that's fine. He's almost dead. Mark almost procced as well. Well, while I'm dead and before I get back to the top of the castle, we can read the donation that just came in.
Yes, we have a $30 donation from Silius8 with no message, but they've put that towards Yoshi, putting Yoshi even further ahead with now a $38 lead on Luigi. Let's see if they can keep it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. And it makes me really happy that you are supporting my boy Yoshi.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. New Super Mario movie will be out in theaters later this year. Yoshi's there. Very cool.
Cute. Yeah, we just played some Yoshi's Island for the first time at some point recently.
Yoshi's Island 3, yeah.
He kind of grew on us.
Okay, so I did my best Yoshi impression there as well with the skip. Now we are back to Bell-Bearing Hunter. He's dead. That's fine. Like, we lost a little bit of time to get some loot, but really not a big deal. And we can level up. We are now level 13. I'm like not really happy with I'm not super happy with the loot that we have. So I'm gonna keep on going around the castle actually. And then we will see what we end up doing, because we'll be definitely level 15 and we have to make a decision about the crater. Like I think the best thing to do in this expedition would be to actually do the skip, but I still want to show everything off. It's just my passives are really not great. And neither are my consumables at the moment. Because you definitely don't want to use fire greases on Ogre, like the boss of this expedition. Golden One is potentially nice, actually. Yeah, Golden One is good. You don't want to use fire, because as I said, it's an underwater boss, so he's very resistant to fire. Okay, this was also like, you can see that this time I went from a different side. Of course, I also am a higher level and stuff, but I went to the castle from a completely different side, and it was so much easier to deal with this plethora of Banished Knights that are around here. I didn't get ganked nearly as badly as I did the first time.
Yeah, routing is pretty important for the castle, especially for Banished Knights and also the trolls.
Yeah.
The troll castle is also very famous to just have trolls throw pots at the players, and a lot of people hate that castle, but if you actually approach it from the correct side, and do one troll after the other, it's not that bad.
Yeah, there's a consistent way, and I did it in the first expedition where even though the trolls are aggro, if you take a specific path through the castle, one of them will de-aggro, and then you can basically do a kind of comfortable 1v1 with one of the trolls, and then you're left with an actual 1v1 at the very end. Okay, kitty cat again. Good headshot. That's why, like, usually it depends on, like I said, what's at the top of the castle, but I like doing the castle boss fairly early because it also gives me extra power for all of this stuff that I'm doing here right now, you know? Like, sure, I don't have as much power for the boss, but as we have seen, the boss really, or rather my damage on the boss really benefits from all the consumables, and I don't need to have a high level for the consumables. While here, I will be saving the consumables, so having all the extra damage from just my items and my level is really good. Shared order, we don't need that. Physical attack, power 6%, fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna try to rush through the crater now then, I think. I think that's probably the right play here.
Alright, so we get to actually see it a little bit more this time.
So let's see, what are my passives? So I have Sacred Order, Golden Vow, that's an aura buff. And yeah, I have my regular bow. I have also a longbow, which is actually good. Longbow scales slightly better than the regular starting Iron Eye bow. That's quite good. That's neat. So I'll be able to upgrade that to gold instead.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about the crater, right? So I mean, we talked about it before, but you can upgrade something immediately. Like, you don't need...
That's funny. Here's
okay,
that's one of the corpses that I was talking about. 5% chance basically for a legendary. Sorry to interrupt. Just Iron Eye also, like, every single class has a different passive ability, and some of them are a little bit more involved. For Iron Eye, he basically increases the item discovery of his entire team. So normally it's a 5% chance for a legendary from that corpse, but if you have Iron Eye on your team or you play as Iron Eye, that chance is a little bit increased.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of a passive like that because it basically doesn't really influence your gameplay in any meaningful way. But yeah, that is how it works. So that was one of the corpses. Please go ahead, you were saying?
Well, first, I think one of the most impactful passives, and why I would say Wilder's a really good starter character, is because he has an implemented cheat death himself. So
yeah.
He has like an automatic dodge that if you would die from an attack, he just dodges automatically for you.
Yeah, it's not as good as the actual cheat death that you get in solo. But because if you, for example, die to an AoE and the AoE persists even after that like automatic dodge that you get, well, then you're still gonna get wrecked. But yeah, that's for solo that is huge. Yeah. Okay, so we're making our way through the crater. Those were the first fire prelates. They both dropped trinkets, as you could see. So they're definitely worth killing. These enemies, if I wasn't level 15, I would kill them as well. But this time I'm level 15, so I can go towards, well, the second fog wall and the only second fog wall that we have in the entire game, actually. One is in the castle at the bottom. We saw it in the basement earlier in the run when I killed Grafted Scion. And this is the second one. And we completely skipped this one with the crater skip.
Is that a fog wall? No, isn't that just a gate that goes up in the cut?
No, there's a golden fog wall that spawns there. Yeah.
Oh.
There's no gate.
Oh.
I mean, there's a gate that is at the bottom floor of the castle, but in the cellar is a fog wall. Yeah, there's only 2 of them in the entire game. Okay, so all of this we skipped, right? Like, you guys saw that. And like I said, sometimes it's fine to do this, because if you have the time, like we are max level, like we don't need to necessarily be killing a lot of the bosses. There's a lot of items that we can try to pick up here. These chariots are pretty brutal, because they will try to throw me off the ledge here, so I'm gonna try to make sure to avoid that. But there's a lot of items that you can actually kind of pick up here, like for example this fire grease. My inventory is actually full. We're a little bit late, so I'm gonna rush to the boss right now. I'm gonna have to make sure to use some of the stuff. And as I'm running to the magma worm, I think we can get some stuff red.
All right, we have a $5 donation from Burger Warlord saying 2-player 1 controller hypers. Absolutely, and we're only $501 away from that milestone now. Keep it coming. We have $20 from Alt SF6 saying, shoutouts to Catalyst's high quality YouTube content. It has given me a lot of entertainment over the years. And they've put that towards Yoshi in our Mario Party characters. And we have a $20 donation from Mega with no message and simply putting that towards Donkey Kong in our characters. So a quick update on our Mario Party Relay character select. We have Yoshi in first, and then we're going to have Luigi, Rosalina, and Donkey Kong currently as our CPUs, and Peach, Waluigi, Wario, and Mario are going to be sat on the bench. So if you want to change any of that, get your donations in.
Thank you very much, Murtag. Okay, so this is like really tight timing, but I think we'll be fine. I need to get this Magma Berm kill like right now. There's the kill. Let's see what it drops. Probably garbage. Actually, it's fine. Let's upgrade the longbow. And now I have to take the Spirit Hawk. I'm not going to be doing the fancy tech this time. Instead, I'm just going to heal before I take it. And I'll let it take me to the next night boss, hopefully. So let's heal up. Now we are full. Take the Hawk. And we'll be there basically perfectly on time. This is like, yeah, fantastic timing, to be honest. So now I'm within the circle. I shouldn't be taking damage anymore. I'm gonna stack some of these buffs. I need to look at what I even want to use in what order. Okay, it's all clear to me now. I see the vision, guys. I see the vision. All right, so that basically takes you directly to the Night 2 boss. You can see it's again in the same place. That's because whenever a crater is actually active, or not crater, shifting earth, the second night boss is also, it's one of the downsides of a shifting earth is that the night boss is always in the same place. You could also see me get stuck there on an invisible horse. That's pretty funny because that's where the boss is gonna spawn, and these bosses are on horses, and the horses somehow their collision is there already, even though they haven't spawned yet. Insane amount of runes. I got stuck again. Okay, I got the kill. I'm gonna take this passive, get ready in the correct location. Okay, that's Golden Vow. That's perfect. That will be first on the list. I have only one Blood Bowl Aromatic, so I'll be using the Exalted Flesh as my body buff. So Golden Vow. Sacred Order. Exalted Flesh body buff. Fire Grease. And look who it is! Oh my god, we haven't seen these guys in a long time.
Yep.
We have the same boss again. As I was saying earlier, this would be fine if I could use the ulti, but there's a case to be made that I don't necessarily need the ulti for the next night boss. It's not as mandatory as it is on Gladius. However, it will reduce the RNG quite a bit. If I had better damage, I would be, like if I had really good build, I would be a lot more comfortable not having ulti for the Night Lord, and I would just use it here instead. But my damage, while it is okay, it's not as bad, it could be better. So instead, we're just gonna keep the ulti here. Improved physical attack power, 9%, fantastic. As I said, this environmental buff is also to physical, not just fire, so we want to take it for the Night Lord. I need to buy Exalted Flesh. Probably not needed, but I'll grab it just in case. And we'll be fighting Augur. Also, guys, thank you so much for the kind words and the donations as well. I really appreciate it. Makes me very, very happy when some of my work is, you know, recognized. That's very cool.
Can confirm. Definitely. Very, very cool YouTube videos. Maybe we should make something about Nightreign.
I'm locked in. Sorry, guys. I just needed to. So it was
just a silent no.
yeah. It was very important to actually buff up before we spawn the boss, so I can get this close to it and get these top R2s at the beginning of the fight. One of the difficult parts is marking this guy because he keeps floating, so that mark actually cannot really travel vertically very well. So that's why you saw me actually jump before I used it. And this is why I want to have the ultimate. I actually don't think it might even be, it might not even be necessary here.
Yeah, because of the mark.
Yeah. Jump again. Remarked. Yeah, it's very important to interrupt that attack because it's basically an area-wide sleep. And that would lose a lot of time. Reapply the Lightning Grease as he comes back. I'm going to try to ulti. Yeah, get the stagger. Fantastic. Reapply the mark. Now we need to go to the head, take the riposte. And the boss should be dead. Nice. Okay. Fantastic. Hey, that was a good kill, guys. Come on.
What do you mean?
Come on.
slow?
What do you mean slow? All right, tell me what they said, Murtag.
Yes. We have, firstly, a $1 donation from the professor saying $35,000, which we have now
Woo!
hit. Let's keep it going towards 40K. We also have a $25 donation from Ithalon saying, 1 player, 2 controllers, hype. And why is there no choice of Funky Kong, the jorts wearing icon? I agree. And they've put that towards Donkey Kong. And then we have a $100 donation from Derek Destroyer saying, and I'm not sure what this meant to mean, maybe you know, Kata, Greeble, Bleeble, Burmpo, Sneeple, Tungus, Glorp, Plorp, Schnorp.
Glorp.
I heard.
I don't
glorp.
know either. But
Yeah.
that's what Derek Destroyer says.
I heard glorp.
Yeah, we love Glorp. Glorp is an alien cat. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, and cats are cool.
Yep.
Aliens less so. I mean, it depends.
I
like,
mean, a space
ET
cat.
is fine. ET is fine. Alien from Alien, less so. So it depends, right? Like, it depends. Oops, I didn't mean to heal. I made that sound so dramatic. I was like, oops, I just killed the run. No, I healed by accident.
Imagine a heal this early would. I mean, that's the beauty about Nightreign, right? In some other games, it might actually kill the whole PB attempt. Because like if you lose even a few seconds, that can make a difference. And if it happens right at the start of like let's say this was the first expedition and it happened right at the start, you might just reset.
Yeah.
But here it just doesn't matter really too
I mean-
much because it's timed anyway, and the main thing that matters is the boss fights.
And so here you just reset when you get a bad pattern. Much better.
Yeah.
There's like, I think it's basically a 50% chance that you end up getting a pattern at the first expedition, because I said there's 20 of them, and I believe 10 of them don't have the Tree Sentinel and Cavalry as a second night boss. But only half of those actually also has non-bell-bearing hunter, but the demi-human queen that we saw in the first expedition. So you have basically 1 in 4 chance that you have a decent pattern, and then everything else is kind of just subpar. Okay, so we have a new shifting earth this time, right? Which one is it, Pup?
It's the mountaintops. So last time we were in the crater, and this time
Boom.
we are instead of going down, we're going up.
I didn't mean to attack these guys. That's fine, though. That is correct, yes. So we are going against Adele. It's basically a dragon. And the mountaintop has, you know, just the same way that the crater allowed us to make our weapon legendary. The crater also has... Sorry, the...
Wasn't there another bow passive? Did you pick that up?
Yeah, I think I did this one.
Okay.
I think I did. I might have missed something. That's fine.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, the mountaintop, the same way that the crater allowed us to make a legendary weapon, the mountaintop is focused at anti-dragon powers. And because the boss that we'll be fighting, the Night Lord, counts as a dragon, that's why it's so important to have this specific shifting earth for this expedition. And it only happens on the second to last one of this run, right? So that's why we did the boss selection the way that we did. Why we ended up doing Fulgor and Maris earlier. Okay, I got my stone. Oh, I needed to use the grease, that's my bad. Not enough inventory slots. It's another thing as well, like I didn't mention it, but yeah, actually this is a good time to talk about the merchants. So we talked about the patterns, the map patterns, right? 5 per shifting earth per Night Lord, 20 without the shifting earth. The merchants are also not random though, for some reason. Instead, the merchants have 21 different shop lineups that you can get. So basically, if you know just potentially like one item that exists in a merchant lineup, you will be able to say like what there is in that shop lineup, because it will be consistent. And the funniest thing, we haven't had that yet. I don't think we will. I don't think there's a pattern left. But there's that township as well, which has a different merchant that I mentioned that has a lot more loot, a lot more items, and some guaranteed good ones as well. And the funny part is that both those merchants are connected. So basically the lineup is always going to be the same. So if you find one merchant and you know, oh, it's pattern 5 out of 21, right? You'll be able to make a connection to that other merchant as well and be like, okay, well, he's going to have these and these items in particular. It's kind of funny. It is funny that it works that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, do I kill this flower? I mean, I have the fire grease active. It's kind of on the way.
I would say why not?
fair. Okay, let's get this kill. Ulti should be good. So the reason I mentioned the fire is because this Miranda Blossom is very weak to fire. You can see it even gets staggered. And I activated the grease because I ran out of inventory space. And the reason I wanted to talk about the merchants is because you can see I have limited inventory space, but there's the item called Small Pouch, which I can buy from a merchant, which gives me an extra consumable slot as well. And that's how I've been able to stack 5 items into my inventory sometimes.
And after this, we'll go into the castle again.
Yeah, we'll go into the castle again.
Which is exciting, because we actually will be able to see the last castle pattern.
Oh yeah, true. That's cool. BBK at the top, okay. More runes from defeated enemies. I mean, I'll take it. Gets me a little bit more power quickly in day 1. That's pretty good. And yeah, you can see the mountain top over here. So, as I mentioned, in a Shifting Earth, the second night boss is always in the Shifting Earth. So that means in day 1 we are not going towards the Shifting Earth because it's going to spawn elsewhere. And instead we are going to head over to the castle, as usual. And then we'll head over to the Shifting Earth the next day. Alright, level 5 is actually pretty good. That was pretty nice. I think that was the right call to get the Miranda Flower.
Yeah, it seemed pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so unfortunately I did not find a different bow. Another good merchant lineup. That's good. Another Blood Bowl Aromatic. Let's upgrade this bow. Pick this up. And go into the castle. So yeah, we will see the last pattern, as Pup mentioned. This one is kind of interesting. There are not as many... Wait, what?
What?
You have the wrong map pattern.
How?
I don't know. You messed up. I'll show the map after I'm done with this courtyard.
I'm so sad.
That's no problem. But yeah, so we're seeing Vanished Knights again. And I think the problem is that the last expedition has 4 patterns with the same... with the Troll Castle, and then I think the last one is there as well. So we have like 1 in 5 chance or something like that. What is this blood doing? Just blocking.
Man. And now I promised them to see the last one.
Yeah, and I come in and I see all the enemies and I'm like, what the hell? Actual scammers.
Just to keep you on your feet, you know. But I know what happened, okay? So usually you just have to select one rune with
so
their
dead in this corner again.
damage type. And the problem was that it's either a lightning or a holy rune. And those damage types, their icons are so similar. And so I thought it was... I won and so like...
Okay, then stop staring at the icons and actually show me the map pattern.
Well, you show me the map
Well,
first.
it's the other one, no?
But I don't remember which one I
clicked. You didn't look. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Thank you. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, that makes more sense. Because I was like, that was not Lorena. We just thought that was a Miranda flower. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine. I think. Yeah, there's no encounter or anything.
Encounter?
Well, the random things that happen, right? The meteor or...
Yeah.
Or...
or other things that happen.
Other things. Other random cool things that can happen. What was
that are not random.
Yeah, the Gnoster invasion we had in the last one.
Yeah, that's another Night Lord as well, by the way. Like, the Noster invasion is basically... essentially these invasions that can happen in some of the matches. This is huge, by the way. Dragon Moon Grease against the Dragon. These random things that can happen, sometimes these invasions are basically like a little bit of a tease for some of the Night Lords. Noster is another one that we could have fought, but that one also stalls like crazy. So that one's completely out of the question as well. Alright, that was good. So, I mean, I did die, but it spawned me close to some other enemies that I wanted to kill anyway, so it really didn't lose that much time. We have some decent... we have a body buff, which, like, that's the most important thing, I think. Like, if I were to choose, like, one thing that I need in terms of consumables and buffs, it's some kind of a body buff. Like, either it's... there we go. It's either the Blood Bowl Aromatic, which we also have access to, thanks to the good merchant RNG, or it's this Exalted Flesh, because they give 20 in the case of Exalted Flesh, and like over 30%, I think 35 in case of Blood Bowl Aromatic, extra physical damage. The downside of the Blood Bowl Aromatic, in theory, is that you take more damage while that is active, but you also get like more stamina, so it's generally really good. And obviously in this kind of run, we are trying to really not get hit. because we are killing the bosses fairly quickly. So like the downside of the Blood Bowl Aromatic really isn't that great. Okay, so I need to actually see what bosses we have. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, it's some Japanese stuff. I know what that is. Ow, wow. That was not good. Okay, I'm gonna use the ulti here, actually. Try to aim it so that I hit some of the enemies in the backside as well. Because I don't want to have what happened in the second expedition happen again. There we go.
yeah, the website that we use for these map patterns, it's really good, but a few of the bosses, for some reason, they use their Japanese names.
Yeah, I think the website, it's Nightreign map, by the way. It's made by a Japanese player. I don't know exactly who it's made by. I don't know if there's if that is anywhere on the website. But there's a Japanese, an English, and a Chinese version, and I think it's just a translation problem, basically.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah,
But that's really good.
yeah,
otherwise.
I mean, I remember I know the pattern, so
That's good.
yeah. All right, let's finish up these Banished Knights. We have 113k in the bank. That's pretty decent. I definitely want to get the triple chest at the top of the tower. I don't know how much time... Where is this guy? Oh, did I kill him already? Wait, what? Okay. Maybe I'm not too slow after all. Yeah, I definitely would like to also go to the middle courtyard, get that triple chest there, but this is the one with the kitty cat. And that one is going to take quite a bit longer without an ultimate. Gonna try to run away, get the headshot in. Okay, he just despawned. That's pretty funny. Alright, so the circle's already closing in, so right now the plan is gonna be finish up this Banished Knight because it's almost dead. Not that one, this one. I didn't have stamina there to do one more attack. So in this game, obviously, it works the same way as it does in the other From Software games. You need to have at least 1 point of stamina to perform any kind of action, right? Like sprinting or rolling or attacking. So I wasn't able to actually attack there because I ran out of stamina. And when I'm aiming down sights with my bow, my stamina recovery is really slow. You basically always have to stop aiming. So our buffs are decent. I would like some better passives. If we could get something out of this. Lightning Grease is fine. I'm just going to activate it though because I don't have space for it at the moment. And when it comes to these passives, we have the Lightning Grease there again. Yeah, we didn't really get anything. That is fine though. Oops, that's not where I meant to jump. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over the next Grace that leads to the next boss so I can level up from level 4. And as we'll be heading over southeast, Murtag, if you have anything to say.
Yes, we have a $40 donation from Spooks saying, great ESA so far. Looking forward to the Mario Party relay. And they put that towards Yoshi as well, who's getting a bit of a lead. And they've also redeemed the Sound Vortex acrylic sign. That's the last of those that we have.
Cool.
And I'd like to remind people that we still have some more rewards that you can claim with a $159 donation. You can pick up a Logitech G5 22 headset with your donation as well. And we also have a $250 donation from Saiyan with no message, just putting it towards Rosalina.
Your
Think
favorite.
is now in the lead, so we're going to be
What?
playing as Rosalina. Yoshi is trailing by $9.
Guys, Yoshi needs to win. Let's go. You have till the end of this run, basically, till the start of the next run. You need to get Yoshi back to first place.
Rosalina kind of cute though.
Oh, okay. I didn't think that this was the boss, actually. Never mind then. This is like one of the worst boss that we can get in the entire run.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, you guys will see why. Right now, we are just dealing basically with the pre-fight stuff. And yeah, if you can, you know, make a connection with these spiders on the ground, then you probably know what's coming already. If you don't know, then yeah, maybe that's for the best.
Another tip, it's not an Elden Ring boss.
That's great.
Also not Dark Souls 1. We
These
saw
spiders
one,
also,
from
yeah,
that.
these spiders love to freaking run around and hide in the bushes. I hope that I killed all of them so the boss can actually spawn.
Yeah. Yeah, because like the boss only spawns if you have killed all the pre-enemies, unless you're super slow, which hopefully you would never see in the speedrun. Then the boss will spawn with some of the other enemies still alive as well.
I shut off the head, so when I used my mark right after that, it actually hit nothing.
Yeah. And I mean, you can see why this boss is so terrible. There's just so many ads.
Yeah, but it's not even that. I can't even like lock onto the boss itself right now because the game is. Yeah. That's the target I want to focus, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the problems of Nightreign is for some reason the lock-on, like nobody's really sure what's happened in development and why the lock-on is so different from normal Elden Ring. But something happened with it and it's just not...
I don't know. That felt like kind of normal lock-on behavior to me, to be honest. Yeah.
That's fair.
Like lock-on is just problematic in pretty much every game. Okay, hello. I'm pressing left. Like what? Okay, so yeah, what is happening? Like you might think, dude, you have a bow, just aim. Well, yeah, but then I have to use R1s, and I want to obviously use my shotgun. What is it locking on? Okay, this is like the longest boss fight in the entire run so far.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Okay, I'm actually just gonna have to manually aim. Roll this backwards. Okay.
Yeah.
CSGO skills.
Freya also only takes damage to the head. That's why you have to make sure to attack in specific place.
What is this spider doing here?
Yeah, what does it have? Oh my god.
The hell out of here. Yeah, it's not that I'm dealing like extra damage to the head. No, that's the only place you can actually deal damage to. And then I was gonna mark her, and I destroyed one side of her body, right? So the mark just hit nothing, basically. Oh man, yeah, this is one of the worst fights that you can have in the entire run. There's one more pattern that can happen on the next expedition that we would potentially be doing 2-player 1 controller. That we'll just have to straight out of like reset out of.
Yeah.
It's not doable because there's potential Tibia Mariner spawn, and the way Tibia Mariner works in this game is he has tons of ads and you need to basically kill all of them in order to progress the fight, and it just takes so long.
Yeah, all of them, and they're ghost enemies, so they die and then you have to shoot them again so that they actually stay dead, otherwise they revive again. And sometimes another one will attack you while you're trying to do that, and so you can't kill it, and then it just respawns, and so you have to basically deal with another ad. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
But that is something that you're allowed to do in the speedrun, is you're allowed to just quit out of an expedition and restart it.
But it's not just, I love losing 20 seconds because I get 1 out of 5 RNG. Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say, is like, you are allowed to do that, but of course that loses you a lot of time.
Yeah.
So ideally, you do hope to get the good RNG and just get really good expeditions after each other, but of course that's very unlikely unless you really grind it out and just reset as soon as you're presented with a bad one.
Yeah, so there you could see the leash range that I mentioned a little bit earlier. We were just able to destroy the Banished Knights. They wanted to walk back, they teleported back. They get some iframes, but we were just able to attack them right after, pretty much. Hello? There we go. Okay, I should have taken the repose there. That's fine. Yeah, and there's also a cooldown on the stagger, right? Like, you probably understood that by now. But there I also got a headshot. I didn't miss. And the guy just didn't stagger because he staggered recently already. Alright, what's at the bottom? Okay, Red Wolf is at the bottom. I don't think we have time for the bottom this expedition. We haven't done it that many times. But that's okay because the bottom boss doesn't actually... Oh, we did this already. Because the bottom boss doesn't actually drop that many runes, or like most of the time just... Yeah, it's... I don't want to say waste of time because, yeah, but you can go to a different area to just offset the bottom. The top of the castle is pretty important. Like, I'll go there as well again once I clear out this part. It's actually kind of a... Well, I just got blasted. But it's a little bit of a cool strat that you can do here if this encounter gets a little chaotic. As Iron Eye, you can simply just jump to the other side of this broken bridge and just shoot them from here.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah, especially for the kitty, it's actually pretty good. I mean, the other guy's blocking, right? So I'm not going to be able to get him. But I can just kind of keep on attacking the kitty here. That's fairly good. And yeah, the reason I'm not going to go to the bottom is because I need to make sure that I clear out the entire mountaintop. Because it's only at the peak where you actually get the power, right? The same way that it was at the bottom, very bottom of the crater, where I was able to forge my weapon to legendary. I need to get to the top of the mountain here.
Yeah, and that's with all the shifting earths. there's some sort of goal that you can complete. Like there's usually a boss at the end of it as well, depending on the Shifting Earth, and then some sort of big power that you can get that will help you in some way.
Yeah, this one is quite interesting because you don't need to actually defeat the boss to collect the power. Like, the boss is good to beat if possible, because it drops a lot of runes and it's a guaranteed legendary drop. That doesn't mean the legendary is going to be good, mind you, but, you know, you always want to take the chance. However, the problem is that the boss in this Shifting Earth is very, very resistant to Pierce. And if you remember, multiple expeditions ago, I said that a bow and arrow is counted as Pierce in this game. So even though I might be dealing very good damage to a lot of enemies, I'm going to be dealing like no damage to that guy. So the idea is to try, if I'm going to be beating him, which I don't have to, but if I do want to, the idea would be to get a strike weapon instead, which he's weak to. It's funny, like most dragons in the game are actually weak to Pierce, but there are a few that are not, that are instead weak to strike. Okay, we made it to the top. That was good. I will heal up. We'll be fighting Loretta. I want to use one of my Exalted Flesh thingies. I can also use Lightning Grease. So, the boss that we'll be fighting, by which I mean the boss, the Night Lord, he's a dragon with lightning. So, yeah, you probably can figure out that he's going to be pretty resistant to fire, and he's also resistant to lightning. So, the entire strat here is to try and get the Dragon Wound Grease instead, which we luckily found. I actually found 2 of them, which is kind of overkill. I feel like I can even just use one of them for clearing. And the same way that you are very likely to find fire greases from the crater, you're also very likely to find frost greases from the frozen mountain. Can strafe this attack. Get some top R2s in while we are up close. Then get some distance again. Loretta specifically, or sorry, Royal Carrier Knight, which is Loretta from Elden Ring. She does have quite a few attacks that if you're in melee range, they kind of force you to just keep your distance for a second. And again, our Knight doesn't really mind that, right?
Yeah, it's kind of funny in Nightreign, they anonymized some of the bosses.
Yeah.
For example, Morgoth can also chase you around, but he's not called Morgoth.
Yeah, it's just Fell Omen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morgoth can also show up as a night boss. That's kind of what you would prefer in the very first expedition against Gladius. That one's pretty good. Very quick. If you have the right setup. If you have the right setup.
But I think they did that so that you also don't need to necessarily have played Elden Ring to... Well, would you need to play Elden Ring to just accept that that first boss's name is Loretta? Probably not. Yeah,
I was also thinking about that at some point, mostly because of talismans, right? Like, talismans can have names like, oh, this is, what's her name? The dexterity lady?
Millicent.
Millicent, yeah, so you have Millicent's prosthesis, it's like, who the hell is, like, Millicent?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But in the end, you just kind of accept that, okay, there's some lady called Millicent, whatever.
Yeah.
Damn, good roll. On a blind. Yeah, we are level 14 already. I don't really care for collecting any more runes, but I will... Oh, that was a Frost Grease. I'll take it over the Lightning Grease, and I'll activate the Lightning Grease from the ground. So some items that are laying on the ground, you can use straight from the ground without having to pick them up, if you choose to do so. So for example, I applied this Lightning Grease even though it didn't go into my inventory, basically. And the reason I do that is because there's a dragon over here that I want to kill, and this is one of those anti-dragon bonuses that we will be getting. Well, I say one of those, it's the one that I want to get. But I also want to get the power of this mountain, because the power of the mountain, what it does is it increases your resistance to frost. Also, look at this damage, right? That's because this dragon actually is weak to pierce. So I'm dealing a lot of damage here. But yeah, the power of the mountain, it increases your resistance to frost, which is not really that important. What's important is that if there's a frost proc near your character, you will get extra damage. And that's kind of what I would like to abuse on the Night Lord, potentially. Okay, I don't really care about the troll. He takes a long time to kill and drops like 5k. Like, it's insanely bad. So we don't want to do that. I do have a strike weapon potentially for Borealis for the dragon here, but it's not that good.
It's a very tanky dragon, and it's a pretty annoying dragon as well because it has screams that can stagger you and frost you, and it just, yeah, oftentimes it just feels not worth it, especially since we're pretty much already max level.
Yeah.
And sure, it can drop a legendary, but also Iron Eye doesn't really have that many legendaries that are super good for him. Like, the best thing is that it has a really good passive on it. So, and that is, of course, yeah, kind of rare.
Yeah, it's quite unlucky because for Iron Eye specifically, there's actually no legendary bow except for a great bow. Right, so there are these like different weapon categories as you would expect in an RPG. It just makes sense. Insane legendary out of this guy, but it's all trash. And there are bows, great bows, and crossbows in this game. Crossbows, they do not actually have any kind of special moveset. Like, that's also pretty important to say, is that Iron Eye has a special bow moveset that he uses. Like, other characters, if they use a bow, they are not as proficient at it as Iron Eye is. Like, you shoot faster, you have better tracking on your arrows and stuff like that. Like, if you're gonna be playing ranged like this, like, you need to be playing Iron Eye, basically.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the game's kind of miserable.
I mean, I think Elden Ring was also kind of famous for having just really not the best bow moveset, or Souls games in general.
Yeah.
Just that a lot of people have complained about that, yeah, I want to use a bow, there's a lot of bows, but it's just not very fun to use because it's very slow and almost anything else is way more fun.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I thought Iron Eye would be my least favorite character in Nightreign. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, Elden Ring bow character. Yeah, how can that be good? But he actually is my favorite. He's super fun. So if you have doubts about ranged characters in Souls games, try Nightreign. It's fun.
So there are multiple different ways through the mountain. I took basically kind of the fastest, most efficient path with a lot of item checks on the way as well. And there we just made it to the top, and I picked up the power. And now I'm gonna try to kill the dragon. Like, I'll see what the damage is like. I apply the frost grease. He can be frosted as well. That's, if you haven't played Souls games, like these status effects, as we call them, you basically build up a status effect on an enemy, and then when it procs, like for example Frost, you will deal percentage-based damage. Like there, I am dead. That's fine, because I was standing in Frost, because I wanted to demonstrate it, obviously.
Of course.
That's another like really annoying thing about this dragon, is that he just keeps on building up frost when you're in the vicinity. It's yeah, very annoying. This is okay though. I mean, I'm gonna climb back up. There will probably also be a long load screen here. It's not really a load screen. Like, you can still hear me opening and closing the map. It's just a black screen because the game's like trying to figure out where to actually place me, and it places me to the same place every time. But yeah. It takes a while. And the timer's running while that happens, right? So, like, you're technically losing progress, but at least you're not really killing the run by, like, yeah. Things happening that shouldn't be. All right, let's see what is here. Oh, that's nice.
Actually really good.
Yeah, so this is basically where I would be dropping from the dragon. So instead, right now, I'm climbing up, and there are some items that I can pick up on the way. I will prioritize getting my runes back and trying to hit level 15, which I will be able to do. I can recover it. And yeah, we can also loot a little bit on the way. So that's what I was talking about, that there are like multiple different paths through the mountain. I just took a different one. Now I'm gonna yoink this. So my runes were on the ground. Bosses cannot pick them up, only regular enemies do. And now from this big chain, I'm gonna jump off. And go to this Grace, where we killed the dragon earlier, and I'll level up here, go to 15. Kind of interesting tech that I'm doing that I didn't mention is, and you will see in 2-player 1 controller, we really don't coordinate that. I'm letting go of my sprint and movement button right before landing. And that's because normally there's like a landing animation where you roll, like it's very quick, but it stops your sprint. And so what I'm trying to do is let go of it in the air and start moving just as I hit the ground. And that way, that animation is actually cancelled, so I can start moving a little bit quicker. It's just a small thing, but it helps a little bit. It's kind of fun to do casual as well. Okay, we have 2 Blood Bowl aromatics from the merchant. That's fantastic. We also have 2 Dragon Wound Greases, which is also fantastic. And we have 2 Frost Greases, which is
Also fantastic.
it's good. It's good.
Good.
I technically only need one, so that's why it's good. We also have 2 fire greases, which is kind of useless. Don't really need that. But this way, as I'm waiting for the boss, like we are ticking all the categories. Right? I'm missing Sacred Order, the unique. That's not good. But otherwise, I have Aura buff on Golden Vow. I have a body buff, the best one, on Blood Bowl Aromatic. I have a grease. Like, it's very nice. It's very nice in that regard. Passives, not that great, but otherwise, like, it's okay. Oh, this guy's chunky.
Yeah.
The Beastmen of Farm Uzula from the base game. One of the first bosses that you fight, actually, in Groveside Cave, funnily enough.
True.
Let's clear out these mobs. Guy has a shield, isn't very good at using it. Again, we stand in the place where the boss is going to spawn. Let's get these buffs set up. Starting with the Blood Bowl Aromatic, because it lasts the longest. Golden Vow after that. We will untwo-hand. Apply the Dragon Wound Grease. An Ancient Dragon spawns in. And so this is actually, you can see the damage is insane. This is a fantastic boss to be fighting as Arnai, because not only is he weak to Pierce, as dragons often are, and as I mentioned, but you can also focus on the head and deal headshot damage. That was so fast.
That's insane, yeah.
And then you have the Dragon Wound Grease on top of that, which also gives you anti-dragon damage, right? So yeah, just fantastic stuff. That was very good. This has been a nice expedition so far. Like, obviously Freya was really bad, but that's like not much for me to do about. That's just how the boss is. All right, we'll be fighting Adele.
Can I quickly jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd just like to remind everybody that we've only got a few minutes before we're going to start the final expedition of this run, but we're still $73 short of hitting that milestone for the 2-player 1 controller.
So close.
So get that in ASAP.
Thank you so much, Murtag. Okay, so I'm going to apply some of these buffs again. I did it in the wrong order. Not a big deal. It shouldn't matter. I'm going to start by applying the Freeze Grease, actually. I'll try to get the Freeze proc. Whenever you frost an enemy, it actually takes more damage after that as well. So that was perfect. And I get that extra damage as well from the Mountain Power. And now I'm trying to position myself in a very specific way to be... That's okay, that is not a big deal. I'm trying to position myself in a very specific way to be in the front. And try to headshot the head. And then I'm going to use the iframes of the ultimate to hopefully get through his phase transition. And enter phase 2 that way. Now we are in phase 2. I'm gonna heal just in case. Remark. Oh, I got a stagger as well, and poop, that's the boss. Nice. Cool. Yeah, so every ultimate in the game has iframes, and what you can do as Arnai is you can actually hold it. And that way, you don't deal more damage. The damage is the same, but you get the iframes for a little bit longer. And so I used it during, like, basically an area-wide AoE to enter phase 2 without getting destroyed, because that AoE would have just killed me. So it's a cool, neat little strat that you can use on Adele there. All right, last expedition, guys. $73 for 2-player 1 controller. The milestone was set fairly high, but you guys have gotten super close already. So please keep the donos coming.
Yeah, I can jump in anytime during the
anytime.
expedition as well,
Anytime.
but it is now the final one.
Yes.
Let me do the map pattern
Thank you.
magic, hopefully this time the correct one.
And we have a donation coming in.
Yep, we have two donations actually, both from Lurven. First one saying, "Hi Kata and Pup, good to see all of that TFT sewer rave and momentum mod practice is paying off. Good luck on your Legolas playthrough," and they put that towards Yoshi. And also another donation from Lurven for $20 saying Yoshi, another $20 for Yoshi.
Yoshi!
Thank you, Lurven. Yeah, we haven't played Nightreign a lot at this event, to be honest. I mean, it is our job to do that, so we are basically chilling. And we were playing Teamfight Tactics. We were bunny hopping in Momentum mod.
I bunny hopped for the first time in my life.
Crazy stuff. Natural talent. And yeah, we are part of the Sewer Rave tournament as well, which was
a lot of fun.
Yeah, indeed. Murtag, please.
Yes, we have $50 from Sphere saying, I'm locked in Archipelago, so I might as well donate. And they've also put that towards Yoshi. And we also have a $75 donation from Anonymous, who's put that towards Rosalina. And we also have another, oh my god, they keep coming in, but it's time for 2-player 1 controller.
Yay!
Woohoo! Thank you guys
Thank
so
you.
much. Oh man. Can we get another like camera angle or something, Tech? That would be crazy if we could see the
Yeah.
controller on screen as well. Oh.
Otherwise, you just have to trust us.
Yeah, just trust us. All right, thank you so much, guys, for meeting that. That is going to be super fun. The reason we have a pillow isn't to take a little nap. Instead, it is actually quite comfortable to have a pillow that we can put our hands on when we are sharing the controller. Cute, yeah, perfect. So basically, this looks like I'm playing alone, right? Like so far, this is fairly similar, but yeah, I'm actually not playing alone. The start of this run is going to be fairly similar. Where's the Grace? There it is. The start of this run is going to be fairly similar to what we were doing before. We'll have to talk to each other a little bit more this time around to coordinate. But right now, the plan is to kill these Madness dudes to get some money, hopefully hit level 3, and then we will head over to the Troll again to get a purple stone, just like we've been doing. And while we are doing that, Murtag, please.
Absolutely. We have a bunch of messages. We have $75 from Anonymous. Let's put that towards Rosalina. We have $50 from Anonymous. Let's put that towards Yoshi. And we have $20 from Stytian, who's put that towards Rosalina. And the battle for our Mario Party characters is really heating up now. So Yoshi is in the lead, but only $28 ahead of Rosalina. So that could go either way. And then we've got Luigi and Donkey Kong in 3rd and 4th. And we have Peach, Waluigi, Wario, and Mario currently on the bench. If you want to see any of those characters, keep donating. As a reminder, 1st place will be our playable character, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th will be the CPUs.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. This is an absolute pleasure to be able to try and do this for you. Our monitor just died.
Uh-oh.
Something happened. We are getting the tech to fix the camera, and right now we can't really see anything.
Or hear anything.
Tech, can you help? The monitor is disconnected.
Yeah, did we reset the PC or something maybe?
The PC plugged out.
Yeah, we don't get any audio or video. Oh, the power went out. Okay, that's unlucky. That is unlucky.
That's
fine.
so unfortunate.
Well,
We are at the start of the
start.
expedition, though,
We
so
were
it's
at
all
the
good.
start.
It's
all
funny.
good.
I was talking about what can happen when a game crashes. What about the electricity when that crashes? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
It happens.
All right, Murtag, what do we have?
Oh my god, we have a $460 donation from Anonymous. And they have the power to put almost anybody to be a playable character. And they just put it to nobody.
Wow!
No message, not put to anybody.
God damn.
I thought Yoshi had it
Thank
in
you
the
so
bag.
much, Anonymous.
I thought Yoshi had it in the bag.
Oh, but thank you so much, Anonymous. They just didn't want to be biased. Maybe they love all the characters equally.
That's fair. That is a completely fair angle. All right, well, we're waiting for the PC to start. 2-player 1 controller is quite interesting. We've done it never, actually. It's our first time. We never
Is it
practiced
actually
it.
starting, the PC?
Yeah, the PC is starting. Now that someone's going to click the button, it's actually going to be starting. But yeah, we've done this a few times with different games. I guess the highlight of our 2-player 1 controller career would be all bosses, deathless, randomizer.
First try.
First try in Elden Ring, yeah. So that was back when the DLC wasn't out. All the 165 bosses. That was kind of crazy. Yeah, it took us 1 attempt, so that's pretty cool. Hey, the PC's starting now. You guys can see that.
But I have to say, Elden Ring is a little easier because in Nightreign, with the ability, you actually have to press Y and L2 or LT or whatever your controller is, which is on 2 different sides, right? So usually you can just have like one side is movement and one person takes care of that, and the other side is just dodging and attacking and stuff, and the other person takes care of that. And so it's kind of, yeah, it's pretty chill to deal with. But here we actually have to coordinate inputs for the same thing. Oh, It's
Yeah, that was some Swedish message. I don't speak Swedish, but I just clicked something on the keyboard and it was fine. I'm still not getting any input on the monitor though.
press button, maybe.
Press what button? Like you want to turn it off? You think that's gonna fix it?
Turn it off and
Off
on
and
again.
on? Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Age old.
All right, host. I think we can go to a
Yes.
quick intermission while we log in. I'm not playing
Let's do that.
RuneScape. Let's exit out.
While
of
I
that.
figure it out, I'll keep you company, chat. Tech people are running around trying to solve these problems here. But I think we'll be up and running very soon. It's more time to get in donations for your Mario Party poll as well. As a quick reminder, we've got $508 on Yoshi in first place. Rosalina with $480. So just $29 to snipe that. Luigi and Donkey Kong trailing in third and fourth, but they'll still be in the relay just as the CPUs. Peach at $100, Waluigi at $95, Wario at $53, and Mario at $10. So for a fairly modest donation, you could push them into the top 4, and we get to see them as CPU opponents for our Mario relay. As a reminder, the next run will be Mario Party Superstars. And it'll be a relay. I think it's like 70 or 80 people. It's basically half the people here at ESA are all going to be doing a Mario Party run, all doing one mini game each, one after another. I think most people in this room are taking part. I'm taking part. I know Cat and Puppery are also taking part. We've all been practicing our mini games throughout the week, so it's going to be a really great time. And I'm excited to see what characters we're going to see. I'm a big fan of Rosalina. I'd like to see Rosalina. But Yoshi's good too, you know? Whatever you feel like, chat. Get your donations in. Alright, and we're ready to let's throw it back.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Right, Tech reset the timer, fantastic, or continued it. So, yeah, as we were saying, 2-player 1 controller can be quite challenging, as Pup outlined. It can be pretty interesting in Nightreign. So you will hear us communicate a little bit. And sometimes we might just say Q, which might be a little... we have to quit out of this one. That's lightning. That's the bad pattern. Damn. So electricity not only killed that expedition, but it gave us that one map pattern we need to reset out of. Oh, man. The RNG. The RNG. But yeah, so we might just say Q, which basically, you know, our mobile-pilled brains call the ability. It's just a faster way to say than like Mark or something like that. And yeah, I have to hold Y or triangle for that, and Pup has to press L2. And so it's a little bit of coordination. Otherwise, yeah, Pup will be operating the movement side of things, and I will be operating the other stuff. Yeah, that's the only one. Cool. All right. So we are back in action. Northern side this time, not running to the troll or anything like that. We'll be running back to... the pumpkin, because luckily the mountaintop does have a tunnel at the top. Like you through them. Nice. This guy has some treasure. He's gonna try to just run away. This guy with the chest doesn't actually attack, he just drops a bunch of loot. He goes invisible as well, cute. Nice. Okay. With the fire greases, yeah, we can use the spark aromatic. That's actually quite interesting. That's an aromatic we haven't used throughout the run. We actually got 2 of them. That's very interesting.
Not bad.
Okay. Is this the... Yeah, okay. So we can actually do a little bit of a different strategy. Oh, uplifting. Okay. We can do a slightly different strategy here. Let's get this stone sword key. So there are these evergels on the map. Take it over the... take it over... Yeah, the fire grease, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are evergels on the map that you can open if you have a stone sword key. And what always pops up is a boss. And they have some predetermined rewards. And one of them, let's get level 3. So we'll kill these guys and then go to the tower as well. But yeah, one of them is a passive and the other one is just straight up runes. And the runes are usually pretty good. Like, it's a decent amount. So it's quite a decent head start. So we will head over actually to the side on the right here. Loot this tower. The reason we want to do this is because there's the bow rack that we've looted pretty much the entire run so far. And that one is, you know, always has bows. It can also have ballista, and it can also have great bows, which is, those are, kill that guy as well. Which is not good, but they might have some good passive. So the hope here would be to find some good bow, and if you don't find that, well, maybe there's something good for us to use as a passive. Okay. Yeah, attack power at full HP is good. The bow itself is bad. It's just a regular short bow. That is fine. And you know what? Let's head through the tunnel. Let's play it a little bit differently. So we'll head through the tunnel. We will get that upgrade stone. We will use the spark aromatic there on that pumpkin, actually. Yeah, Pup is operating the movement, yeah? Keep that in mind, guys.
You did the jumping.
That is true. I do the jumping. That is a good point. That is a good point. All right, let's drop down here. Let's Q through him and back. In and out, yeah. Wait for him to... you can aim in.
Oh, aim.
Yeah.
I see.
That's fine, though. Okay, re-Q. Stay close. Aromatic. Aromatic. There we go. Nice. Okay, we have to loot this. Over that. Perfect. And run through the tunnel. So we'll get to the other side. And the reason we picked up the Stone Sword Key is because there's an Evigel on this side of the tunnel that we have run past before. Let's check what these passives are real quick before the soldiers get to us. Just loot this quickly. Okay, it's all trash, so it's all good. Well, I mean, not really, but it is what it is. Let's heal up. We'll do this. Okay, and we want to select the grease right now. Yeah, we'll just use the lightning grease, and we'll be fighting Godskin Apostle. Crazy. Q through next. Okay, that's fine. I'll ulti. Careful now. Okay, phase transition. Q through. Nice. In. Okay, careful now. Nice. Q in. There we go. Okay, first boss dead. 2-player, 1 controller. Not bad. And now we can get 20k on top of all the runes that the boss drops. So we haven't even made it to the castle yet, and we're already level 6. Right, that's huge. That's a really good start. And it's one of those rare instances where like the map pattern can actually influence your pathing as well, right? Because we've usually done it very similarly. Like get stones, go to the castle, that kind of stuff. And here you can do this actually because you have a guaranteed Stone Sword Key in that caravan. It's always there if it's your starting location. If you go there later, it's an 80% chance that it will be there, but it might not be there. And Godskin Apostle will always show up. Now we can kill this guy as well while we are here. That way we can buy a pouch. So right now we do not have the regular small smithing stone. That costs 6.5k. We've been buying that from the merchant. And so this way we have a little bit over 13k, which should allow us to buy both a pouch and the thing. Okay, stone first. Pouch. And there are Blood Bowl, uplifting aromatic there as well. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, both to purple. Okay. So let's clear out this side of the courtyard. We will have Banished Knights again, which is kind of crazy because it's 1 of 5. Aim.
All right.
1 out of 5. Let's get out. Let's just get out. It's 1 out of 5 that does not have trolls on Hellstar. We can aim on these soldiers. Q through. Nice. Just keep running. And aim down. I don't know who to shoot for first. Yeah, like we just run away. Yeah, it was an unsuccessful heist.
A little too dicey.
Yeah, we had to get out a little bit. It's fine though. We can get these guys. Aim down. Q through him. Okay, that's fine. And aim down, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Now we can finally get him. Perfect. See, like when it's 1-on-1, it's easy.
Yeah.
Okay, stamina, yeah. Get this guy. All right, let's see if we can get some greases here. That would be good. Because we could go potentially to the boss on the rooftop. Q through. Okay.
Oh.
We took a little rest. Okay, we need to roll away first.
Okay.
Aim. Q through him when he gets close. Nice. Okay, I'm just gonna pop the ulti. Otherwise, we're gonna get blasted by this guy. Nice. Okay. Now we get access to all these chests as well. Exalted Flesh double. That's pretty huge. So uplifting aromatic, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but that's I think I did, but it's easy to forget anyway. That's an aura buff, right? So we do not we're not that happy about it, but optimally, if we do not find if we find enough of those aromatics, aim. Oh, okay, Q through. Aim. Oh, we are not two-handed.
Oh.
That's why. Somehow I'm two-handed.
That might be
Okay.
good.
Yeah, like optimally, you would want to use the aromatic, which is slightly worse than some of the spells as aura buffs, but it saves you an item slot, right? Because you're using a consumable in place of an item with a spell. Now, obviously, if you have an item that has a spell and a good passive, well, I mean, that's the biggest W. That would be good. And consumables can be limited. If you get 2 uplifting aromatics, which we actually have 3 of them for this expedition, which is quite good, you're gonna run out. Q through that guy. How's hand position? Comfy?
Is good
Okay.
for you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's another important thing to kind of figure out during 2-player 1 controller is making sure that you're both comfortable.
Yeah, it can get pretty painful otherwise if you're not in a good position, and also like without the pillow, it would be way less comfy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go to the merchant here. Buy the 2 aromatics. Well, only one. Only one is fine. Check the passives on these weapons. There was there's Sacred Order. No, Sacred Order. Yeah.
Ah, this one.
Perfect. And yeah, let's go to the boss, I think. Actually, not really, because we only have 1 grease. So let's get this. Put the Sacred in the other hand. 2-hand. And use it. Okay. And let's clear out this side, because there's more loot here. So a boss, you know, you've seen it by now, but the top of the castle would basically give us 1 trinket and a lot of runes. But like, we're doing kind of okay with runes. We are doing kind of fine with runes. But we are not doing fine with... let's Q through him when he gets close. Nice. We are not doing fine in terms of loot. And we don't get that much loot up top. So instead, I think it's better to just loot here. No, we don't need that. We go to Lightning Grease. That's nice. Okay, I picked up that shield. Drop it. We don't need it. That has Holy Ground, so that's not really useful. It's just a bunch of healing stuff. Do this chest over here. Okay, jump into the courtyard. Q through this guy. That was an unfortunate interrupt. Go in for the riposte. Yeah, perfect. You can heal up after this. Okay, the kitty is on us.
Yep.
Q. Yeah, nice. It's only the kitty, not the Banished Knight, though. So that's really good. The Banished Knight is he's sussed out, but he's not onto us yet. Nice, get the riposte as well. Q after. Alright. No, stun's breaking, yeah. Now we get these chests over here. Okay.
Nothing really.
Yeah, Fire Grease was fine. Let's go to the triple chest. Open the map. Okay, we don't really have time for it. That's fine. Let's climb over here and go southeast where the boss has spawned. Sorry, southwest. Check our inventory. Yeah, we should have picked up that Fire Grease. I don't know why we left it there. What are the other passives that we have in the first row? That's good. That's trash. Okay. That's also important, is to like clear out your inventory, because sometimes especially as 2-player 1 controller, when you have to loot a lot of things from the ground and you're being chased by enemies because you're kind of under time pressure, like suddenly you need to be able to really make the right decisions and drop the items you don't need. And so, for example, what I like to do is always put the good passives that I know are good and the ones that I want to replace eventually on separate rows, so I know exactly what I want to be replacing. All right, we're gonna have to go to a Grace that is a little bit north of the boss fight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can level up. We you know, collected 100k runes even without the bosses there, so that's pretty nice. That was a nice starting strategy with that Evergel. And yeah, I'm happy to say that this pattern that we lucked into after two attempts, so attempt number 3, it's actually the best pattern that we can get for this particular expedition. So that's quite neat. Kill these guys, Q. Okay.
We'll see. I'm a little worried about the last boss.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, we don't even have to use our bow for that one.
I guess so. I guess so.
All right, now we'll wait for the enemies to... where are you running? Why are you running? Open the map so we can see when it's roughly going to spawn. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so we have to obviously wait for the pre-boss stuff first. And yeah, in terms of the boss buffing thing, we will be using Sacred Blade. Sorry, Sacred Order first. Then we will use the Grease and then Exalted last.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, we will also have to use the Uplifting. So there's quite a bit.
Let's see if it works out. Because I have to do the menuing, and
Yeah,
I am
you
not
through him?
used to doing a bunch of buff orders as much.
This guy again, dude. You get revenge.
Yeah.
Let's heal up.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you have to
Two-hand.
two-hand, yeah. Go in the patch, yeah.
Yeah.
Map, yeah. Start buffing. Okay, I will
Yes.
un-two-hand.
Mm-hmm.
Uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
Grease. Exalted. Q. Go in. Okay, that's the damage that I like to see. That's a lot better than the first time when I was level 3. And the guy goes down.
Very nice.
Very good. Okay, perfect. So that basically, like, it looks easy, and the execution of it is, but it's all because we are able to stack those different buffs, right? Like in the first fight you saw me in this run against Warmface, I had to run away. I wasted some time because I was too low of a level. I didn't have the items that I needed. And that's kind of where the success in Nightreign speedrunning kind of comes from. It's the preparation for these night bosses, not the night bosses themselves necessarily. Even though there the execution is important sometimes, but not always. Alright, so we will clear this beetle. Let's see if it drops something. It's not completely useless. It's not the best either. We will be returning to the castle to clear up the top boss. And as we do that, Murtag, please.
Yes, we have a $10 donation from John Tech, who says, sorry for the power loss. Don't worry about it. You did a really good job getting everything set back up. Thanks, John Tech. And they put that towards Rosalina. We have a $20 donation from Mirai saying, Mlem. Who puts it towards Yoshi. And we have a $20 donation from Slim Jim saying, sending my love to all my friends who were able to attend. I hope to see you all in summer. I can't wait. And they've also put that towards Yoshi. Yoshi now has a bit of a lead, $58 lead over Rosalina, but it's still anybody's game. Get your donations in.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
And Slim Jim as well. I hope that we get to see you in the summer. Okay, let's apply the Sacred.
Yep.
And we can use the Grease as well. Q. Perfect. Roll through. Always roll through this. Because you get more distance that way. Q. Nice. Perfect range there. Just outstrafe the attack. You have to roll this. Now that we're close, we can get a top R2 in as well. Q in and out. Okay, that was good. Really good spacing as well. Yeah, that one has quite a bit of AoE, so I just decided to roll it instead. Even though we probably would have been fine. Alright, that was perfect. Okay, Tree Sentinel went down really well, so that saves us a lot of time on this second day. Yeah, we won that. We won that. So that was kind of interesting because the pulley bow that we got was actually better than what we have right now, the regular upgraded bow. But the passive from that trinket was more beneficial. Q in and out. Yeah. Okay, we can aim. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Just aim that.
Oh.
Okay, we can Q. That's fine too. Doesn't really matter. Let's actually ult these three guys.
Yeah, you can see how far this ultimate can travel.
Yep. Yeah, these guys are now on high alert. But unfortunately for them, we can abuse them just as much from this side of the bridge as we could the kitty from the other side. Nice. All right, one more here. Yeah, we also have a passive that we picked up from one of the trinkets that gives us a sudden death, potentially, right? So we have a little bit of a percentage chance to actually get a kill instantly. Doesn't work on bosses, but it works on like all other minions, basically. That's very good. So fantastic Q there, didn't even have to say anything. Last rights, we won last rights, yeah, we won last rights. It's very good, in fact. That will be fun. You guys don't know why yet, triple chest, but that will be fun, I think. Alright, so now we are climbing to this triple chest over here, as we have done a few times. Hopefully, like I said, we're kind of low on the grease's side. There's that fire grease that we left as well. Where do you leave it? Well, there's a fire grease right here.
That was, yeah.
In the courtyard.
Yeah, exactly. In the other.
Oh, lightning grease. Nice. Okay, let's just go get the fire grease real quick then. We'll just go over. And we can also try to make things even more complicated for you. And we can go kill the jellyfish. So I've been killing the jellyfish throughout the run, you might have noticed. That's not just for fun or runes. That is because they have a 5% chance by default to drop a jellyfish shield, which actually boosts all of your damage. Like, not the shield itself, but the spell that it has. But it seems like we are getting kind of unlucky. It's a unique as well, so it stacks with everything, but we did not get it.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Pup is relieved. Okay, we can buff with the left-hand weapon. And, yeah, that's fine. So we've got Red Wolf, and he just peaced out. Okay. So now we have to kind of try to bait him back. Q. Nice. Hello?
What's happening?
Okay, the game locked off. Just go in. Yeah. Go in. Go in. Yeah. Return. Yeah, so there are a couple of things that annoy me about this game. Q in. Nice. And one of them is Red Wolf specifically. Because Red Wolf was changed. He doesn't have, like, out of Elden Ring, he doesn't have his sword attacks. And those are some of the most fun to be fun to be dodging and, like, fun to be punishing. And they also give you quite decent window of opportunities to attack the boss. They got rid of them completely and just make the guy jump around a lot more. So that's number one. Number two, when we ran back into the arena, we wanted to turn around 180 degrees. And you saw how long that actually took. That's because for some reason, the camera controls in this game are giga scuffed. Because unless you are holding like directly zero angle left or right, you will turn around a lot slower in the camera. Like in Elden Ring, it's fine. It's really like the camera there is nice and smooth. But here, unless you are at basically exactly the x-axis, you will just not. I don't think we... Oh, we do have a slot for that, actually. Yeah, let's get the chest first, and then the grease. Oh, the grease is here as well. Loot it. Very good. Now we have... No, do the other chest as well. We generally go this way. Nope. Nope.
Can't see anything.
That's fine. Don't need to see.
I do!
Alright, this chest. Alright, let's head into the mountains then.
Okay.
Because we are basically done with the castle now. Another thing is, like, for example, this entire run we haven't visited any ruins. Those are especially useful on the first expedition, and also some patterns where the castle ends up being out of the circle rather quickly. Those places are not very good for the boss fights. Like, runes are like there, for example, on the left side. They're not very good for the bosses themselves and the rewards, but they're good in terms of how many chests there are. So it's sometimes quite good to actually go for the loot there. Ulti back. Yeah, cool guys, don't look at explosions and all that. Ow.
Cool guys get hit too.
Yep. Nice Q backwards. Get the riposte. So here it is definitely not as important to clear out the entire mountain. That is because the Hellster fight that we'll be doing, and the fight even before that as second Night Lord, like neither of them are susceptible to the status effect that we would be using. So we don't need Frost, we don't need Bleed, even though we got some of, like one of the best passives in the game, which is getting a Bleed Grease on our weapon after every crit. So basically, the Bleed status effect is kind of like Frost. It deals percentage damage when it procs, but it doesn't give extra damage while the Frost proc is active on the boss, right? But it deals more damage in that status effect proc. However, a normal Bleed Grease and a normal Frost Grease, they simply add the status effect to your weapon. However, this Trinket passive that we have, where the Bleed is applied after a crit, it actually adds flat damage to our weapon the same way a normal Grease would. So it's like giga strong, because you end up getting both the flat damage and the status effect on top of that. It's really, really good. Alright, Q him first. Nice. However, in this expedition, it just doesn't matter that much because, yeah, the boss isn't susceptible to bleed. Just Q in. Nice. So we're on a really nice pace to get level 15 here for the final fights. Okay, try to loot quickly. No. Just take the third. It does not matter. Let's try to get the Grace, because we can level as well. And yeah, go to the back. So again, we're mostly going through this now because we want to loot these corpses. That's another reason why this pathing is pretty good, because not only does it get you through a lot of bosses here in the mountains, but it yeah, it leads you to the top fairly quickly, which isn't as important here. We can use that from the ground. Nice. But yeah, it gets you through a decent amount of loot as well, which is what we need right now, because the passives are okay, they're not the best. We can put the Last Right's weapon to the top second slot as well. Yeah, that's good. Oh, we only have one uplifting aromatic. We didn't buy the last one from the shop.
Oops.
I'm just gonna ulti. Okay, he got blasted. Q. Nice. See, I didn't even need to call out that like we go in and out. Like Pub just knew exactly what we needed to do. That's kind of like the benefit of if you practice a lot of things together or learn some boss fights together, is that you know exactly what you want to be doing. And you don't really have to call out the shots. And like that's huge, because normally, like if you know what you need to do, well, you just do it. It's easy. But if you need to tell your partner what we need to actually be doing, like it adds extra delay that you don't really care about that much. Because it will, yeah, slow you down. It will get you hit when you shouldn't be getting hit. You will miss out on damage opportunities and stuff like that. Yeah, so we're still making it to the top of the mountain to get the rest of the loot. We need to kill like one enemy for level 15, pretty much. One enemy.
Surely we can find that somewhere.
Ow. Yeah, that's the environmental frostbite that Borealis constantly engulfs us in. Yeah, circle's closing in. That is actually really good timing. We should be able to attack power at full HP. Nice. We should be able to get all the looting that we need to here. There's another troll boss that if you have a bit more time, you're able to actually defeat, but no such luck in these last two expeditions. Yeah, like we take the power, but like it doesn't matter. I mean, the nice thing is that if we get frostbitten, we also get the damage bonus.
That's true. Yeah. Which holster can do frost as well.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. The boss that we'll see is definitely one of the coolest in the game. Maybe one of the coolest period what From Software have kind of cooked up.
Yeah.
It's very anime-like, but it combines like a lot of things that are in the game already. And I feel like that's when From Software are at their strongest. There's an item here, yeah. When they kind of make their final boss be the reflection of your journey of how you got there.
Mm-hmm.
Left side, I think. That should be... Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably actually one of my favorite FromSoft bosses of all time. I think he's super cool and super fun to fight too.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that, I guess. Let's kill some of these enemies. Or get killed. Q? Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so we got the level 15. Open the map. Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna be level 14 for this fight. Not a big deal. There's no... get the beetle? There's no grace on the way, really. What's this?
Poison rod resistance.
No, we don't need it. Surely. Alright, let's get to the circle. Let's prepare these buffs, yeah? So... it's actually in the right order. We're gonna keep the aromatic for the final fights. And instead... Yeah, let's kill these enemies. It's gonna be a little annoying. This is the type of enemy that Pop was talking about, where you basically have to kill the enemy and shoot it on the ground, which I somehow missed. We can Q through this guy? Yeah, we can apply... Yeah. Apply the buff. Apply the buff. Apply the buff. Into two hands?
Yeah, my bad.
This gives us extra damage to undead. And now we don't need to hit them on the ground.
Yeah, actually true.
So this is huge.
That's like the best thing to have for this fight.
Alright, Q through him. Okay, let's heal up. Switch to the other weapon from the bow. Yeah. Go to the spawn point. Map. Okay. Left hand, two hand. Yeah. L2 again. Exalted Flesh. And now we are cooking with the damage. Look at this.
Oh my god, what is this?
Get the hell out of here, Deathright bird. Oh, man. Glimblades. Yeah, nice. All right. So that's, again, we were able to stack multiple undead or versus undead bonuses, but last rites are even better. They do not just buff your undead damage by 50%, but by 100%. So it's even better still. All right, here we need Exalted Flesh. No. And the Vending Grace.
Yeah, just in case.
And drop the double Fire Grease. Yes. Then level up. And now we go. Okay. Swap to the bow. Nice. Two hand. Perfect. And yeah, aromatic for phase 2. So we will start with the weapon. Then we will continue with Exalted Flesh. And then finally Grease. Nice. Okay, buff. So this is the final boss. It has 2 phases, guys.
Fire it.
Yeah, but just some, yeah. Q. Nice. And the timer will stop at the end of the second phase. You guys will know. We will skip the cutscene and then the credits will roll, so we will let you know. Okay, we will Q through. Nice, run back. Roll in. Yeah, perfect. Okay, two hand, so we can reapply everything. Yeah, Exalted Flesh. Aromatic. Okay, just sprint. Don't worry about it. Just select the grease. We are a little bit slower here, so only 3 attacks. Apply the grease. Perfect. Only 3 attacks. Nice. And we can do 2 more. I rolled that too early, so that's actually my bad. Just roll through and heal. Perfect timing on that heal. Roll in. Q. Okay, we're gonna... Yeah, we can interrupt. Nice. In. And back. Back. Nice. Q in. In. Nice. Ripples. That's huge. And keep R2. Okay. Perfect. Heal to full. Reapply grease. Aromatic. We will Q in after. In. Q. Ulti. Interrupt. We took a hit, but the uplifting aromatic protected us from taking damage, really? Q. And 2 more hits, and the boss is dead.
No, he's not!
He is dead! He's dead!
He's so dead! Oh.
Alright, nice. Oh, man.
Scared me there.
Alright, so now there would be a running section to the credits, but in one of the patches they added a skip button, so you don't actually have to run there. We will go through this white screen. I will open the menu for us. We click skip, and we skip a cutscene, and time!
On estimate.
Look at the estimates!
Even with the tech issues, let's go.
That was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the 2-player 1 controller portion of the run as well. Seems like the crowd enjoyed it. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you to everyone who donated towards the marathon as well. Not just today, but throughout the entire week. It's an honor and a privilege to be putting this showcase on for you guys. And it made us very happy to be this close to the end of the marathon as a little bit of a hype builder or something, basically, for the finale.
Yeah, definitely. And the 2-player 1 controller, I'm so happy they got met.
Yeah.
It's very fun to play and show off. Because I do think it's a little bit more complicated in Nightreign. So, yeah, thank you so much for the donations, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, like, it's pretty funny because we got to show off some really cool things in this 2-player 1 controller expedition, and it went better than, for example, my second expedition, right?
Yeah.
Like, we played better than I played solo in one of them. So it's just, yeah, it's really cool, and it was super fun. I want to give a quick shout out to all the volunteers, by the way, right? Because we both do fundraising as well for ESA, our second event. And yeah, without volunteers, this event literally couldn't happen. So like everyone that's on tech, whether they're cutting power to RPC or fixing it, doesn't really matter. Everyone that's on fundraising, everyone that's putting together the schedule, just everyone that's you know, on the safety team. Yeah, big shout outs to you guys. And also one quick more thing. I also want to shout out Alteforsan. He's a Japanese runner of this game. He's cracked at these games. He's really, really good. And he taught me a lot of strategies that I've been kind of able to utilize. Super small things that we didn't even get into the nitty-gritty details of during this run. And it was almost 3 hours long. And still there was a little bit more complexity left. So yeah, but from us, that's going to be it for this run. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. It seems like we have some donations. So Murtag, if you want to take over.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kenna. That was an incredible run. Yeah, especially 2-player 1 controller. The synergy was unbelievable. Like you said, you were basically playing it. You could barely even tell because it was just as good as every other expedition. You did amazing, both of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we got 2 donations here first. We got $28 from Anonymous for no message and $30 from Anonymous for no message. Those both came in right after that Deathright bird kill, and presumably feeling how I felt, which was just like, that was incredible. I hate that boss fight. And then you just deleted it. I wish I could always do that. And then we've got $10 from Silios8 saying GG, and they put that towards Rosalina.
Thank you so much, guys. Don't go anywhere because we've got the Mario Party relay coming up. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. We're going to go to a brief intermission and then an interview before our final run, Mario Party Superstars Relay.